The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Spring forward, fall back. Spring forward, fall back.
I am confused by people who are thrown off by daylight savings time. Because it is not a big deal. People try to make it a big deal. These drama queens and kings. It is just an hour adjustment twice a year. That's all it is. You move the clock back, you move the clock forward. That's all. But still, twice a year, you will hear people say things like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm all screwed up because of daylight savings time." What? It's just an hour, but still, twice a year, people, is this milk still good? Who is the president?
Daylight savings time. We should have changed the clocks.
But you know, it's 2 o'clock now, so which way does it go?
Spring forward, fall back, Mr. Peterson.
Sit him up, Sammy. Man, I was this close to going home. I love this universe.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
the weekend.
This ought to do it right here. This ought to hold you. The final for the week. Welcome to the Friday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Outstanding. Just wonderful.
Am I the only one that didn't realize it was daylight savings weekend?
I'm sure there's other people who were not aware.
Okay.
How do you feel about it? It's a long weekend. It's our Friday today.
It is, yeah.
And you get a long weekend.
Yeah, look at that. The longest weekend possible.
Yeah, even before our fun show intro, I'm sure you've already heard someone or another come off at the mouth about the daylight savings gimmick. It's
Dana hasn't, but yeah.
It's ending this weekend,
Correct.
from what I understand. That's how it works.
It's wrapping up.
I've never been the type to keep up with this or really care one way or another about the changing of the clocks. I just do what I'm told, but it's become more and more of a conversation every stinking time it comes around. Has it not, Josh?
Yeah, it seems for several years. I mean, some states are saying we're done, right? And a lot of people seem to want to do it that way as well.
So people are very, very passionate about it.
I look forward to it getting dark at 3 p.m. personally.
It's nice for our schedules. It makes it easier to fall asleep when it's like still sunny at 9:30 at night. It makes it rough.
Yeah, I actually hate it. I would prefer if what we're getting into, I guess, with daylight savings or whatever, with the time it's about to be, I prefer when it's darker a lot earlier. So if we could stick with this one, I'd be fine. Because I don't like the sun.
Well, I know, like,
doesn't like the sun.
No, not at all.
All right.
Because then I feel bad if I'm not like out and about when the sun's out.
Remember,
I'm like, look at it, looks so nice out.
Remember all those years, Nick, where I thought the sun was a monster,
Yes,
and you
I
had
do.
to tell me it really wasn't?
Yes, I do.
The sun is the beast.
Did you know that 21% of people say that they rarely or never wake up feeling rested? Rarely or never. Well, they say that means you're not spending enough time in bed or you aren't getting enough quality sleep when you are there.
I'm probably in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Are you kidding me? I haven't had a decent... I can't remember the last time I woke up feeling rested. But it probably has something to do with some other lifestyle choices. Do you worry a lot when you're trying to fall asleep? Worriers? Am I surrounded by worriers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
What the hell, Dana, Ashley, and Josh, what are you worried about?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now,
then,
I'm worried that you think that I worry.
there was a lot of people talking at once. Dana and the other one. Ashley, what are you worried about?
Everything.
Everything.
Family, friends, work, life, mistakes I made in 7th grade that still haunt me. Just my overactive brain just never shuts the F up.
Yeah, I just think about like everything I did wrong that day.
The sun.
The sun.
Stupid sun.
All right, here's what people said about what they worry about. These people involved in the survey. The number one answer for what folks worry about at bedtime: inflation.
Well,
money for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say money troubles,
Yeah.
but I don't specifically go right to inflation.
No.
Although I did bring my wife and I were talking about that yesterday. With the 1% sales tax increase and then everything else going up more and more and more. I'm like, my God. And property taxes, all that kind of stuff. Like, boy, did we basically get a pay cut this year. Looking at how much more expensive everything is.
We just got an email from our HOA, and they're like, we're going to try to raise the HOA rate. And we're like, are you joking? It's already ridiculous.
That's not right, Wapple. It's absolutely not right. I can't say that inflation has ever crossed my mind, let alone the thought that it would be the number one worry as I'm trying to fall asleep.
Inflation. This is terrible.
And
It's so inflated.
That's not to, make fun of those of you who have that thought. I'm just far too absent-minded to ever think of things like that or let it get in the way of some rest.
Well, like the younger people said, I certainly think about money stuff, but I don't specifically think inflation.
We were at the bar a couple weeks ago just hanging out, having some beers, and there's kind of a lull in the conversation, and my buddy just goes, so how about that inflation, huh?
That's cute. You know what else folks worry about? COVID. You know what else they worry about? Gun violence. Climate change. Wow, there's some deep thinkers out there. You really lay in bed and think about climate change?
That would.
It's such a waste of time because there's no such thing as the environment.
No, or birds.
There is no environment. Birds are not real.
I truly believe that the environment is a made-up thing. And lastly, politics. Damn. These are things that just don't occur to me.
People are overly invested in politics?
First I've heard.
So much so, Josh, that it made it into the top 5 worries that we have as we're trying to fall smooth asleep.
I have seen no evidence of that in the last decade.
Yeah, you never hear it brought up by anybody. One of these days, politics is going to creep into social media. I guarantee you that.
Last big political story I remember is when I won the election for 5th grade student council. I haven't heard a word about politics since then.
You won?
Won, yep.
Were you running unopposed?
No. And looking back, I feel bad because there were some kids that actually wanted to be on it. I wanted to do it just because the student council got to go to Circus Pizza with the principal.
That's how it goes, right? That's why I wanted to be a part of the crossing guard.
Yeah.
Because we got a sleepover at a cabin and free pizza.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That's awesome.
But then I watched a horror movie. This was 3rd grade. And then I was scared to have sleepovers for about 10 years. So I missed out. But I ended up being a crossing guard.
Hey, at least you went to the cabin.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was afraid of sleepovers. So I missed the cabin.
I thought you watched a
sad.
movie at the cabin.
Oh, I'm sorry. But pre-cabin.
You were one of those kids who was afraid of sleepovers.
Yeah, really from about 3rd to 6th grade.
One of my best friends growing up, I still consider him one of my best friends, even though I never see the prick anymore. He lives up in Champlin or some godforsaken town like that. One of my best friends growing up. He tried like hell, but he just could not spend the night at anybody's house.
I had a friend like that, too.
I thought it was so odd because I could not wait to spend the night away from my house. I could not wait to go to a home that had food and televisions and fun events. My house had none of those things.
I realized that in 6th grade, starting to see some, like when friends would have Orangina and Lunchables, things like you mentioned, name brand foods, pools, stuff like that.
Cable television, color television. Anyway, so this buddy of mine, it was just really odd because he would come over to my place. He was friends with me and my twin brother. He'd try to crash. We'd watch, a North Star game or something and have something to, run around the neighborhood, raise some hell. Eventually, bedtime. And about 1 or 2 in the morning, he'd have to call his folks to come pick him up. He just couldn't make it. I don't think he made it. I don't think he spent the night in a home other than his folks' place until he was about 16 years old. You had that same problem? What was the problem?
So my issue was like the other way around. My parents had the house with like the good food and like the Kool-Aid, and it was like always nice and cold in there. The AC was always on. And so my best friend growing up, they didn't have air conditioning. And so I'd call my mom like almost every night I slept over there about 1 or 2 a.m. because I was like, I just can't do it. Like, I need some AC.
Well, maybe that was why my buddy didn't spend the night at our place either, because our place sucked. Maybe that's why. But I know he had the same problem in other places.
Oh, that's a good one. AC. Yeah. We didn't have that either. So that'd be a relief in the summertime.
Yeah, that mattered a lot. Gosh, they'd have like 3 fans on me just sweating.
I'm sorry. I just want to say what a profound statement that I just made. That in the summertime, AC would be appreciated.
Yeah.
That's when it's my favorite.
One of the top 3 times, I think 3 or 4 times of the year. Summer would be one of the top 4 seasons where AC would help.
I'm an idiot.
Oh, actually, that makes me think, Josh, I wanted to ask you, did you turn your heat on yet?
Yeah, well, I have to because my wife is a freeze baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we've had it on for a while, actually.
I thought about you when I turned it on last week. I was like, Josh would be disappointed in me.
Oh, I know it's been longer than that.
Yeah,
I have to be considerate for the other folks that run the household.
That's nice.
I mean, that I live with.
5th grade student council, huh?
Yeah.
9th grade president over here.
Yeah.
9th grade president.
Show's got a lot of great political leaders on it.
Yeah, wow, look at you guys.
Well, it didn't last long. I got canned. I got canned fairly quickly because of my grades.
Oh.
It was actually pretty funny because I don't know what the hell these teachers and counselors and whatnot, what they expected. Because I was voted in 9th grade class president. Of course, I was 15 years old. Like, I gave a rat's ass about whatever the 9th grade class president does. Or the junior high student council. I didn't care or know a single thing about what that meant. This was just my buddies daring me to do it, so I did it. It was fun, whatever. You come up with the slogans, you put it up on the wall of the junior high. There was an assembly where we each had to speak, and I was voted in 9th grade class president. Went to a student council meeting, made an absolute fool of myself because I didn't understand any of what was being talked about. We actually made some kind of a field trip also to another school. So all the, it was like Minnetonka, Hopkins, Wayzata, Eden Prairie, all these student councils got together. And again, I made a complete fool out of myself because I was put in charge of some. Part of the gimmick was, okay, we're going to have this project to work on, and each of the class presidents will be in charge of presenting the project. I didn't pay attention to a single word that was said, and then they said, okay, Mr. Bourne, Wayzata Junior High School 9th grade president, present your project. And I stood up and I said, I have no idea what we're doing. I really did. In front of like hundreds of kids, I said, sorry, I spent the last hour just kind of staring off into the distance, and I have no idea what's happening right now. And they were all so embarrassed by me. But anyway, in the end, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks or a month had gone by, and I got pulled out of class by the teachers and the counselors who ran the student council. And they said, well, we look at your grades here. You can't continue to be class president with your grades. And I was basically failing everything but gym. I had an F in everything. I really shouldn't have advanced to high school, is the truth. But anyway, so they said, we need you to pick up your grades. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? They said, well, we need you to have at least a C average. Within 3 weeks, I think they said, a month, whatever. And I said, well, then just forget it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
And they were shocked. They looked at me. They were just completely shocked. And I said, I never really wanted to do this in the first place. And I said, I'm a terrible student. Absolutely terrible. There's no way I'm going to pull my grades up to a C average. You'd have to give me years to do that. So that was the end of that. Here's what else was mentioned in this sleep study. 43% of people say they've experienced insomnia. I've had touches of that, I think, when I've throughout my lifetime where I just can't at all get to sleep. Insomnia? Anyone have any further comments on insomnia?
I've definitely had bouts with it for sure. Thankfully not to the extent that some people have had, but there were times where, especially in college, I wouldn't even be partying. I'd just be laying in bed, and like all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock and I got to go back to class.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
A couple weeks ago, I went through that.
A few of those funny little trips over my lifetime where you just cannot get. 25% of us have experienced restless leg syndrome. I have that all day, every day.
I get that so bad.
So do I, yeah.
All day,
Sometimes
every day.
it just hurts.
We're all restless here. Restless legs. I get criticized for it. I'll be sitting on the couch watching a ball game and my legs are just dancing around. 17% of us have experienced sleep apnea. Now, I find my sleep apnea problems to be very soothing. It's the only way I can get to sleep, Josh, is by counting how many times I stop breathing. It's very soothing, my sleep apnea.
I don't think I have it. You know, I have some where they say, if you wake up unrested and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody's told me that I've stopped breathing in the middle of the night.
I haven't heard that one.
I was able to tell. I dated somebody that had sleep apnea, and I woke up every single time they stopped breathing because it's so obvious, especially because usually they're a snorer, and so you really notice if they go from snoring to all of a sudden just. And you're like, are you going to breathe out at any time?
I have sleep apnea where I masturbate in the middle of the night while sleeping.
Yeah, you
it's
don't
not
even realize
my fault.
it. Yeah.
I don't know who I caught it from, but I caught sleep apnea a few years ago, and I got to do something about it at one point or another. I know I've said that out loud many times, and then I never do anything about it. Yes, Josh?
You said you want to do something about it. Can I just recommend one thing? Maybe Google, how do you get sleep apnea? I don't think anyone gave it to you. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think you caught it from another person. That's the first thing I'd do if I were you. Son of a bitch. Who gave me this?
Which one of you guys?
Dang it, Dana.
I've got some apologies to make to some friends of mine. Then.
That you've accused people of giving it to you.
I have accused people of giving me sleep apnea.
People are saying restless legs, eat bananas. It helps. I have not heard that. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
I love
haven't
bananas.
had bananas in years.
Oh, I have them several times a week.
Oh, you do? Yes, you do.
How do you know?
I can see you.
That's true. I usually text you, look over here, I'm eating a banana.
Our bad sleep habits include going to bed at different times every night.
Yeah, I have like
I go to bed
2
pretty
to
much
3 hour window. I should probably be a little more.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I hit the fart sack damn near same time every night. The second worst habit is you dorks that can't stop staring at your stupid cell phone.
Thankfully, I don't have that problem. Put it down.
Yeah, I turn mine off or put it on like a do not disturb mode way before I go to bed.
But I've learned that just over the years. Like, definitely when I was in high school, I'd sit on my phone and realize it's like 4 a.m. And I learned pretty fast that was not a good idea.
All right, I take that back. I do read right before bed. All right, I'm a no good liar.
How can this be a bad sleep habit? This is one of the only ways I can quickly fall asleep, is just gorging yourself with food beforehand.
Yeah, that's really bad for you.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's
That's
about
it.
the only way. During the day when I take my daily nappy nap, got to have a nap during the day, or else I'd be dead. I would have been dead years ago if it wasn't for naps. I blast my digestive system with terrible food. Then I sleep so soundly, Josh.
I'm right with you. Like if I eat right before bed, I can fall asleep way quicker. But I also notice that I have crazy dreams if I eat right before I go to bed.
That's part of the fun. That's
So
part of the
same thing
fun.
with you?
Not all the time, but every once in a while. The other day, I went home and just ate pudding and candy bars and Doritos and a big salami sandwich and some Chinese food.
Yum, dude.
After we got done with this nightmare, before I took my nap, I just gorged myself with all that garbage and slept nicely. That's the only way. And I had this just bizarre, violent dream about snakes the size of city buses who were just killing everyone in town. It's kind of part of the fun, I think.
The only time I really remember my dreams are when I eat before bed. Have you guys ever met a sleep eater?
No.
Yes, you have,
Never.
because I'm one.
Are you really?
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know two, and they're both women. I wonder if that's more common with females. I have no idea. It's just weird that.
I was told, so I struggled with an eating disorder when I was younger, and I've been told that has something to do with it.
I gotta hang out with a sleep eater.
That's awesome.
Dude, I'll wake up with the one I really remember was waking up with a banana peel next to me.
Is this alcohol induced though?
No, it's not. It just happens. I hate it. Because then I wake up and sometimes...
I hope you ate it.
Well, sometimes I wake up and it's not like fruit or veggies. Sometimes it's like 500, 600 calories. And I'm like, what the heck? I can't be eating that in the middle of the night.
That's kid stuff. 500 and 600.
That's my warm-up.
And then also in this report on our bad sleep habits and sleep this and sleep that, they mention that there are some folks out there who still pull all-nighters. And I guess what I'm picturing is drinking your ass off all night long. That could be, what they mean could be totally different, but that's what I think of pulling it. Are they talking about people who just stay up all night and then go to work in the morning?
Go to school
In the morning.
Well, I can tell you.
Are we telling me? I guess where I'm trying to go with this, I'm having a hard time with this. Do they mean you just can't sleep at all, and then you just go into the next day? Or are they talking about partying your nuts off as a young person and going to bed at 9 o'clock in the morning? I don't know what they mean.
Or playing video games.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the only time I really get some good TV time in is real late Friday and Saturday nights.
Oh, so
that's not. I can't say it's an all-nighter, but I mean it'll be like 2, 3 in the morning, which is usually when I'm waking up.
That must be what they mean. I was just picturing, when you were young and you could just drink your nuts off, and next thing you know, the sun comes up and you have 5, 6 more, and then you just keep going and going and going. That's how I became Cheese Man up at St. Cloud State.
Oh, yeah.
I stayed up for a day and a half drinking, and then finally, when I fell unconscious, they poured cheese over there. They gave me a cheese mask, and the cops wanted to take me to the nut house. But anyway, pulling an all-nighter.
Boy, people are texting it. There's quite a few folks who are or know sleep eaters.
That kind of makes me feel better.
Sleep eating.
Social anxiety, Jesus said, his buddy's a sleep eater. It's bizarre. He said the weirdest thing he does is drink bottles of soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce.
Soy sauce?
That's how you pronounce that.
Must not sleep. Must keep eating.
My dad ate a bag of frozen peas while sleeping one night, says bend 'em and send 'em, Jesus.
Well, there's all types out there.
Another person says he works with a guy that'll make a whole meal while sleeping.
Oh, that's impressive. One time I guess I tried to make a whole meal, but all that was left was a pan. The stove was on and the pan was in the sink with an egg in it, uncooked. So I got close.
No, not really.
Sleepwalkers can be fun. Sleep talkers.
Oh, I'm a sleep talker. I've heard that many times.
What kind of stuff do you say? Is it ever clear or is it just mumbo jumbo?
I forget. I'll have to ask my wife. It's bizarre stuff. She'll say, hey, what's going on with this? And I have no idea, of course, what she's talking about. And she mentions, yeah, you were sleep talking.
Oh, fun. Does she mess with you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I would.
My old man.
She should tape it for me.
My dad is one of the all-time great sleep talkers and sleepwalkers. It provided some absolute, just perfect entertainment for a kid to watch your dad wandering around the house in his drawers and he's completely asleep and saying the most bizarre things. I would double over laughing. It was the best. Sleep smoker too, which is of course recommended.
Boy,
that's recommended by
the fire department,
fire marshals,
yeah.
and of course the health department. They recommend sleep smoking. That was always one of my favorites. He'd be walking around, sometimes in bed, completely asleep, smoking a cigarette. That's great stuff. I don't know how the hell he's made it without dying in a house fire, but it was a lot of fun as a kid. I would invite friends over. And say, just give it time. The old man's going to fall asleep, and then just watch him do his thing.
Get ready for the show.
Oh, man. And they couldn't believe what they were seeing. It was that great.
Now, this one sounds terrible, and I thought, Ashley, you have some experience with this. Night terrors?
I do.
Oh, you do? Really?
Number one.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
that's
awful.
supposed to be really bad.
They're
right?
awful.
Yeah, I had a couple of them from a reaction to a medication I was taking, and I thought I knew what a nightmare was. Absolutely not. Oh, it's so vivid, too. I could, feel other people's blood on me. I woke up crying.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's terrible. My girlfriend hasn't experienced it yet, thankfully. But
what do you do? Just screaming and running around the apartment?
Just you're asleep, you're thrashing, you're screaming. It's just
How long does it last? Do you know?
Oh,
I mean, do you wake yourself up immediately? Or?
No, that's the thing. You can't wake yourself up, and then eventually, I don't know because I've been sleeping alone most of it for a while. But my wife would have to physically wake me up, and it would take her a while, thrashing me to get me to finally wake up.
Okay, I know what you mean now. I had an uncle. He's been dead for years, but I had an uncle who would just scream and shout and cuss in his sleep. And I always just referred to it as a sleep talker. But those must have been night terrors.
Mm-hmm. I'd be knocking lamps off the bedstand thing. And
Whoa!
Yeah, it was rough.
How? Go ahead.
And my ex sometimes she would get annoyed with me. It's do you think I enjoyed what just happened? Do you think that was fun for me? Think I did that on purpose?
Yes.
Have you ever scared anyone with what you say, screaming out terrible things?
I don't think so, because she would always tell me that was just more gibberish and just
Okay.
It wasn't like I was making actual sense or anything when I was talking.
I mean, yes, Josh.
Here's a couple that are creepy. Somebody texted in and said, try having a 1-year-old with night terrors.
Oh, my
How to call
God.
911. They were so scared.
What do they do?
Yeah, get back to us on that. That's like every horror movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
What does a baby do?
And then more anxiety than hair, Jesus. Tell me if this is more creepy than sleep talking. I think it is. His fiance sleep whispers.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, just raise the volume of your voice. This is getting scary.
That is
She's telling
creepy.
secrets about him.
I have to admit that even though, like I just mentioned, growing up with my dad, I saw all kinds of hilarious and bizarre things that he would do while sound asleep. Even growing up with that, I dated a gal for a while who would do things in her sleep, but she would never make a sound. So it was almost like watching a mime. It was all physical movements. And I have to say that was way more unnerving than bizarre things said out loud and things like that. I would wake up, the physical activity that she was doing on the other side of the bed would wake me up. Her moving around would wake me up. And then she would just be doing things with her hands. The one that I remember specifically, and I watched her long enough to where I figured out what she was doing in her dream. She was stocking cupboards.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's great that you figured that out.
I did.
We should play charades sometime. And I want to be on your team.
Maybe I'd be pretty good at it, because it took me a while. I'm like, well, what the hell is this now? And she's, opening cupboards, and then she'd be putting something on the top shelf and putting...
Did she ever make a mistake and have to pull it off of one shelf and put it on the other one?
You know what? Yeah, I don't know. But it was really weird because she never said anything. And, other times I could tell what she was doing was opening a window or driving a car. That was easy to tell. That was really interesting.
That'd be fun to watch.
But the sleep terror thing, I don't know if that... a diagnosis was being made in 1978.
Sure.
But that must have been what my uncle had. It wasn't just talking in his sleep, because, you want to talk about a way to scare a kid. I think I was 8 years old, and me and my dad and my brother were spending the night at my uncle's place. This was my dad's brother. And I knew that he was a wild man when he slept. He would walk around, just like my dad. They were brothers, so he'd walk around, he'd do this and that. I knew that. But one night, I woke up, and my uncle was in the next room, and he is screaming in his sleep. And it was some of the most vile, horrible, violent things I'd ever heard a grown person say up to that point in my life. I'm not kidding. He's going, "You want to die? I'll cut your throat.
Jesus.
You'll bleed to death. I'll drink your blood, you bastard, you son of a bitch. I'll cut your head off in front of your mother. I mean, I'm laying there on the floor going, I'm going to die tonight. What is happening? It was so unbelievable. And my dad sleeping on the couch next to me going, yeah, it's not a big deal. Just go back to bed. I'm like, not a big deal. Did you hear what he just said?
I could sleep through that. I'm a pretty deep sleeper.
Oh, my God. I was staring at the ceiling until the sun came up. I was praying for the...
I was just picturing when you were recreating that, yelling here in the microphone, as we have microphones in front of us. I was picturing a dude going through a McDonald's drive-thru ordering an Egg McMuffin, and then the person that's working at the McDonald's listening to that going, what the hell? Call 911! Call 911!
Oh, my God. My brother and I didn't get that passed down to us. My dad had it. His brother had. My brother and I didn't get that. I mean, we both... No, I can't think of one episode where my brother or I ever got out of bed or ever hollered or screamed. Or I consider myself very lucky.
I think Ashley's probably a big sleep tutor. Is that true?
Oh, no.
I guess I want to know.
My mother-in-law is.
I'm not sure.
Hope she doesn't mind me saying that.
Why would you say that?
Who, me?
Yeah, how do you know that?
How would you know that?
About my mother-in-law? Yeah. Well, it was like she'll fall asleep on the couch or something.
Oh, that's gross. Then just blast one after Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, it doesn't have to be just a special occasion.
Push her out into the garage or something.
Just wheel her out in the recliner.
All right, so there you go. It's that whole daylight savings stupid thing this weekend and this and that. We got plenty to do today. We got plenty to keep us busy today. Oh, by damn, the Vikings play on Sunday, so we'll jaw jack with long snapper Andrew DePaola. Cool. Pro Bowl long snapper Andrew DePaola. We'll see if a lucky listener can rake in the big dollars by way of a little special feature we call Purple Pick'em. Brought to you by the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. Did I nail it?
Yeah, that is
great.
That was impressive.
You got it.
And if
That's my favorite network.
Oh, God, me too.
Same here.
And if you dig hearing two old-timers whine like children, Dad Fights, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will face off in the 147th edition of our Dad Fights Trivia Dork-Off. That'll be around 8 a.m., so we got plenty to cover. Thanks very much for being there, and we'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Half redneck, half posh. 100% fun. Trey Croward and Corey Ryan Forrester try and learn fancy culture in putting on airs.
The host of the Medium Popcorn podcast, Brandon Collins and Justin Brown.
Okay, so Paddington 2 had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for years.
You guys ruined that?
Justin came in and took it down 2 points because of his rating. That's the time we started getting death threats.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People worship that movie.
Putting on airs. The podcast is on YouTube and wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
What?
I just wasn't ready.
Papa, we need more time.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Riff.
Josh?
Riff it.
Hey, everyone, how's it going? I'm making a little rap for you.
That was great.
Thank you.
All right. I got it now. I got it. I just got to get into character here, Back in 1985, a band called Keel, K-E-E-L, they talked about how they had the right to rock. A year later, in 1986, the Stupid Beastie Boys, they went on and on about how folks have to fight for their right to party. And then in 1991, a couple of guys called Right Said Fred claimed that they were too sexy for their own cat. Rights. We're talking about rights here, okay? To start off the stupid news. There's an inmate serving smooth life in a Michigan prison who says he has the right to porn. He's gone ahead and taken the Department of Corrections to court after prison guards allegedly commandeered a dirty magazine that was sent to him through the U.S. mail. He goes by the name of John Alexander. He's 57 years old. That life sentence he's involved in apparently is for what they call here second-degree fleeing from police. That's likely not the whole story, but anyway. The lawsuit he's got cooking says he wants $60,000 from the Michigan Department of Corrections. And the suit says that by not delivering all of his mail, the guards at the joint there called Kinross Correctional Facility, by not delivering all of his mail, they violated his First Amendment rights. It says here for his birthday, Alexander's friends ordered him some issues of Foreplay magazine. Now that's what the doctor ordered right there, boys.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Couple of fresh episodes of Foreplay magazine.
As a married guy, I'd just throw that right in the garbage. Don't have time for that.
You don't even want to read, see, hear anything about Foreplay.
I don't even like the term.
No, I don't like it. I've never liked it.
As a matter of fact, as you said it, I had to look it up. I forgot what it was.
His friends ordered him some issues of Foreplay magazine. I hadn't heard of that one either. But his Jack Mags were taken by the guards, and that's what got the ball rolling on the lawsuit. Folks who know a thing or two suspect that the magazines were intercepted because any depiction of sexual violence could create security issues there at the Stony Lonesome. Possible images of sexual violence. That's not what I would have pictured from Foreplay magazine. Foreplay magazine sounds kind of tame to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, this Alexander character is hoping the Wild. That makes no sense. I have my sports report in front of me.
Well, just real quick, what's going on with the Wild?
Nothing good. This Alexander is hoping the suit will grow into a class action, whatever that means.
I bet it will.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard stories similar to this before. There's lawyers out there that would love to jump on a class action lawsuit.
The right to whack off, bruh, is sort of what we're talking about here.
I'd love to see, if there's ever some sort of demonstration, I'd love to see who's in the picket line out there. Those folks saying, hey, all I want to do is jerk it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Dana's mom, what the hell is she doing there?
I'd go stand in solidarity with everybody.
I'm not going to shake any hands, but it's nice being here with all of you.
Yeah.
I mean, this brings up a conversation, or an argument. It depends on who you are and how far you want to take it. But some say, now, this individual, this John Alexander, I don't have any details on what put him in prison for life. What was the charge again? A second-degree fleeing from police.
Yeah, there's got to be more to it.
Right. Where I'm going with this is there are some people who say, if you are a violent criminal, you've taken a life or something like that, that F you. You don't get no porno mags. You shouldn't have a television. You see where I'm going with all that?
Yep.
Others feel differently, but I got to look up this Foreplay magazine. I'm a little tuned out on porn mags. There was a day I could give you the full roster of what you'd find at Schindler's. There was a day I could list them alphabetically. Not anymore. Oh, speaking of...
real quick, ask me about CrossFit Jesus. Said that it's the pursuit of life, liberty, and fappiness.
Foreplay magazine. I got to look this up, and then I got something more here for you on the topic.
Badass Mother Jesus said that guy lost his rights to jack it freely when he went to prison. I'm sure there's plenty of people who agree with that.
I just pulled the latest issue, and it says the #1 brand in prison entertainment. It says on the cover of Foreplay magazine.
Yeah, that's what Super Luber Jesus said.
Huh. They said what? It's what now?
It says, so on the top of the cover of the magazine, the recent issue, it says the #1 brand in prison entertainment.
Okay.
Interesting.
I wonder what that means.
This text says, I worked at a jail. We had an inmate who wrote grievances against the officers because we wouldn't give him weed, even though he said it was part of his religious beliefs.
Weed was part of his... this Foreplay magazine website is very confusing. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, so this is a magazine specifically for people in jail. So, like, the Q&A says, what if a magazine is rejected by the facility? Where do I put my ID or inmate ID number?
Are there naked girls in there?
I'm trying to find that out.
All right.
I thought they just described it as soft core. So
that's probably why he's pissed, because he would be able to have that, wouldn't he? Because you could put like pictures of ladies up who are clothed.
I don't know the rules, Wapple. Are you sure you know the rules?
Are you just talking about movies you've seen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to put pictures of just regular people up, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about your family. Yeah, I've got a lot of felons in my family as well, but I guess I've never asked their masturbation habits behind bars.
I only kind of know about the picture thing because the family member that I had that was in jail said that because he had a picture of me up and was like, yeah, I had to take that down because dudes got weird.
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's why we had to take you off the internet. Same thing. Air Filter Jesus said, Foreplay? I got married to avoid that garbage. It's for chumps.
I used to, like I was saying, I used to be quite knowledgeable on your various different porn magazines. Did anyone, 651-989-9393, start your message with Nick? Or that doesn't matter anymore? It all comes to...
Well, then you know who it's directed
to. Good point. 651-989-9393. Start your message with Nick. If you are familiar with Hawk magazine, Hawk. It was a stretch of time, Josh, and this is going to shock Josh because he knows me. I even would grab for a Hawk magazine before I'd grab for a Hustler. There was a stretch of time.
Hustler was too much for me.
Yeah, knowing you, I'm not surprised by that.
Was Hawk more extreme than Hustler?
That's about the same.
Yeah, I remember when kids would pass those around, and the first time I saw a Penthouse, I thought, oh, man. And then I saw a Hustler, and I thought, well, I'm done. I can't do this. It's just to teach gynecologists what's going on. I don't understand what I'm looking at.
It's an eye-opener for a new person. Hawk Magazine, did any of you get involved in that? And is it still a thing? Hawk Magazine? Do any of these porn mags even operate anymore? Because of internet now, do they even have... I don't know. Playboy went under, right?
Yeah, I don't think they do physical issues anymore.
I was going to say they'd be digital, if anything.
I'll have to check next time I go get gas. I haven't been in the magazine. Do they still have a magazine section at a gas station?
Last I looked, no.
No.
Isn't that something? That's a damn shame.
They still have the little magazine section at, grocery stores, but I don't think they sell porn there.
What's the matter?
Me?
Yeah.
That's just like that. You're like, what is this world coming to? What a shame.
I used to get such a thrill out of going to the dirty magazine section. I thought that was great. Oh my, look at all these choices.
All I want is a Chuck wagon and a Hustler, and I can't do that anymore, huh?
It didn't even dawn on me. Of course, none of these are probably in circulation anymore because of that stupid, unnecessary internet, which has proven to be a massive mistake. Forest Lake Front Load Jesus remembers Hawk Magazine. God help us. Those were the great days.
I remember you talking about it before.
Simpler times. Simpler people. Yes, Wapple?
No, it's a different one. Sorry. I was going to say, I think they still do. It looks like Exotic still makes some magazines.
Exotic. That's how people have described me before. Very exotic appearance.
Penthouse looks like they're still doing it.
A buddy of mine used to pronounce it Penthouse. Drove me crazy. I punched him in the mouth for that.
Oh, man. Is that the guy that would call a pen a pin?
Yes, because he couldn't say penthouse properly. I specifically remember an edition of the Hawk magazine where they interviewed my favorite porn star of the time, Deidre Holland. She was stunning. I remember reading an interview with. While we're on the topic of porn, just the other day I bumped into this funny article. Well, it wasn't as funny as maybe they thought it was because there was only a couple of. The article was the funniest quotes from porno movies. And a lot of this, you had to be there or you had to see the picture that was connected to the quote. But here's just a couple for you. The funniest quotes from porno movies. Here's how the dialogue went. The first actor said, "But I poop from there."
Oh.
And the second actor said, "Not right now, you don't."
Hopefully not.
Icky.
Another line from a porno movie simply goes like this. "You can't just go around penetrating people."
You can't do it.
I'm looking at the list. Some of this stuff is really gross.
Yeah, and not as funny as they thought it was, right?
No, it's just gross. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, butt plug enthusiasts. If you're out there, butt plug enthusiasts. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. However, I'm going to go ahead anyway, just in case you're a rookie butt plugger.
Never tried one.
Yeah, no rookies on this show.
Another one of those damn things went on in, and it didn't come back out until the plug wearer got some doctors involved to kick it loose. You got to have a stopper on that damn thing. But anyway, another one.
I thought they all did. Or a spotter, you said?
Yeah.
Spotter, a stopper.
I thought they all had the stopper on it.
Yeah. I mean,
or like a tail or something so you could pull it out if you had to.
I'm sure this one did. Accidents can happen.
But I pooped from there.
Who wants to go next?
Not now, you don't.
Not right now, you don't. Yeah, one got stuck. Some lady from the United Kingdom told her butt plug emergency story to the world online. I love how the story says she was, quote, mortified. If you were effing mortified, you wouldn't be telling everybody on stupid social media.
Yep.
Don't lie to me, lady. You're from the United Kingdom. You weren't mortified. You were gobsmacked. That's what you were. Gobsmacked. She waddled herself carefully into a hospital. The doctors and nurses took an x-ray. They all laughed. And then they were able to get the plug to give way. Wapple, you'll find this interesting. They got it to give way via a television wrestling move called the Canadian Destroyer.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how they got it out of it. Just kaboom! And it came...
I could see how that would happen, though. You kind of get your legs up in the air.
The legs are up
get in a compact position.
Right.
I get it.
It's kind of like when you have gas. Sometimes you might fold yourself in half. Anyway, no, I'm lying. They dislodged it. It was a metal butt plug. They dislodged it with, this is how they say it, with 4 pumps of lube. The first 3 pumps were ineffective. The fourth did the trick. Got to know what you're doing.
I guess they probably got that same technique from getting a ring off a finger with some butter.
Quite possibly.
Unbelievable.
If you're trying it for the first time, do you go solo or do you have someone help you? What is the decorum there?
If you're trying one for the very first time.
See, I think I'd want to try it on my own just to make sure I get the process correct and not embarrass myself in front of the 2-3 other people in the room.
Yeah, before you get to butt plug club?
Yeah.
I think you put a mirror up so you can kind of see where things are going.
Squatting over a mirror?
Yeah, sure. Josh, 99 times out of 100, you'd be just fine butt plugging solo.
Who here's a good enough friend where they'd watch to make sure that I don't get in any trouble?
Not me.
Well, I'm the best friend you've ever had.
That's true. Are we that close?
And I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I'm out too. Looks like Dana's in.
Dana, you did say yesterday you'd do pretty much anything for $20.
I did.
I'll give you 15.
Oh, God, we got to negotiate now? $17.50.
You drive a hard bargain, but get over here and look at my butt.
I don't want you to worry, Josh. I know butt plug enthusiasts, and they're fine commandeering that vehicle all on their own. They don't worry so much about these. This lady who was telling the story on the internet, she probably made it up, but 99 times out of 100, I think you'll be all right. The coolest driving instructor in the world got in trouble with the cops for encouraging the young kid behind the wheel to go like hell. So you know the scene, I'm sure. Young kid behind the wheel, driving instructor sitting shotgun, showing the kid the ins and outs of operating a motor vehicle. And the cop spotted him just going like a bastard. This story also comes from stupid England or something like that. It's all kilometers over there, but I think I have the translation correct. The kid was driving 95 miles per hour on an 80-mile-per-hour road ski.
That can get you a ticket.
Yep.
You couldn't get up to 90 on the little tiny course that I took my test on in Egan.
You could?
You could not.
Couldn't.
Yeah, it's just one of those little tiny closed courses.
Oh,
well, I'm assuming this is
this wasn't a closed
No, I know
course.
it wasn't. But
yeah.
I'm assuming it's the stuff beforehand, right, where you go out and practice?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
That's on city streets.
Yeah.
95 and an 80, they say this kid was going. And the cops also say that the car was swerving like his name was Julius Irving. And when they got pinched, the driving instructor told the cops he was showing the kid that speeding saves little time. But the police say they didn't fall for that. I think I understand where he was going with that. I was showing the kid that, speeding isn't going to save you as much time as you think it will, so you shouldn't do it, I think is the route that they're driving and trying to make himself appear to be.
I think that's 100% correct.
The coolest driving instructor in all the land for what he has done was fined a big pile of funny-sounding European money. But I like his style.
I loved my driving instructor, but yeah, we never learned that lesson.
No.
I barely remember mine.
Really? Yeah, I'm quite a bit older than you. Maybe just because my guy was so funny.
Yeah, that's probably why. I think she was just like a middle-aged woman. She had glasses. I remember that. That's about it, though.
Mine was just the gym teacher that drew the short straw that semester and had to teach driver's ed and then take us out driving.
Mine was an escaped convict.
Nice.
Dude, cool.
It was really interesting.
Yeah,
Mine was an old lady, and she wanted to go to all different fast food restaurants. So she'd be like, all right, now go to KFC. So then we'd drive to KFC, go in the drive-thru, get some food.
Are you sure?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
That's
Are you
awesome.
sure this
She
wasn't
did this-
just a transient?
No.
She did this multiple times. You made it sound
Yes.
like multiple times.
Yep.
You took her to a fast food establishment.
Yep.
How many times?
When I was driving one time, 3 times.
Wait, 3 in one session?
Yeah.
God, she must have been starving.
I like this lady.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
3 separate times she
Yes.
made you stop so she could eat at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, she would just get like a cone, or she'd get like a burger or something like that, and then we'd carry on and drive along.
Did she buy you anything?
I'm not buying this.
No.
She really wanted
'Cause I
to
was
make sure you
driving.
were good at pulling through drive-thrus,
Yeah.
didn't she?
I'm fabulous at it now.
This is the silliest story I've heard in a long time.
Seriously, I swear.
Dudes, you got to hear this one. Some guy's mom beat the hell out of his ex-girlfriend in a legit cage fight.
This is up on 93x.com.
When I read that headline, I thought, by God, where do I go to see something like that? I got to see. Apparently, the answer is Poland. Check it out, like Ashley said on our stupid website. A 50-year-old Polish woman knocked out, didn't knock her out. A 50-year-old Polish woman defeated her son's 19-year-old ex-girlfriend during a recent MMA event. The fight was sold as a way to, quote, end their internet drama. I saw still pictures. I'd love to see the video sometime. Is that what we have up there, is the video?
Yep.
Mom won. And the social media dorks are all over the video of this brawl. The fight was promoted by someone called Clout MMA. Word is, they like to sponsor silly fights like this one between these two gals with a damn 31-year age difference and a size difference. I mean, Mom is a big, tall lady. The ex-girlfriend is a tiny little number, by damn. But
yeah,
apparently
she can't do anything.
But I think the story said that the 19-year-old kid had some experience with mixed martial arts.
She looks like an athlete, for sure.
Apparently, these two women have been at odds with each other ever since mom's son, a kid by the name of Daniel, broke up with his tiny little girlfriend. So, like I said, I just saw still photographs. The video, do either one of them look like they have a clue what they're doing?
Nope. Not the younger one.
Well, I don't think the mom really does either.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think she just got lucky that she landed that one punch.
Yeah, it seemed more like luck to me. And the mom's got quite a reach on her, so the ex-girlfriend can't really do too much.
Okay, I'm watching it now. Thank you, Josh, for pointing it my way. Yeah, this is you'd see no better competition at a roadhouse on a Saturday night when it comes to fights. This is nothing better than that. Not exactly Balboa Creed, is it?
No.
Josh.
Not even close.
In the end, the women hugged it out when it was all over with.
Hug it out, bitch.
But, I mean, I like the idea. I like these offbeat, wacky, ridiculous matchups. I mean, we all loved celebrity boxing when it was running on MTV 25 years ago. That stuff was fun. William the Refrigerator Perry against Manute Bol. That was Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch against Danny Bonaducci. That stuff was... Here are some comments from the website where this story came from. I like this one. One person said, "The old bat is a half a foot taller and 40 pounds heavier and much scarier. The 19-year-old looked cute," which is the biggest victory. She did look kind of cute.
Yeah, she's cute.
You guys got any combatants in mind that you'd like to see in some kind of a second-rate, wacky dream bout in an MMA cage?
Ashley's boyfriend.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, versus who?
Me.
Oh, versus you?
Yeah. Me and her boyfriend have beef.
You have beef?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they're enemies.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, an easy answer would be Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
That'd be fun to watch. I'd plunk down the pay-per-view money for that.
But I was thinking more like celebrities. Or what about, well, this was a mother and ex-girlfriend situation. Josh, what if, say, like your wife jumped into the ring with your mother?
No, I wouldn't want to see that.
Would it be a slaughter?
I don't know. My mom, I think she's got a mean streak in there somewhere.
I mean, I know your wife's in shape and everything, but
I don't think she could punch someone.
You don't think she could?
No.
She had it in her heart to slug your mother in the jaw.
Well, maybe if she hasn't eaten in about an hour and a half.
Oh.
She gets angry.
What about like Chris Rock and Will Smith? Just get that going for real.
That's a great one, Wapple.
It's a perfect answer.
And Chris Rock deserves the first punch because, I mean, Smith got it, he snuck one.
Yeah, he gets freebie.
That's a way better answer than and way more entertaining to talk about than this made-up story about your fast food-addicted driving instructor.
I personally think that woman's brilliant. She's on the clock. Might as well have the guy driving around to fast food.
It never happened, Dana. That's the problem. It never happened.
I don't know how you could make something like that up.
I just heard it happen.
I'd like to see the beating Jimmy Garoppolo could give his penis.
Oh.
Am I alone on that one?
Oh, my
No,
God.
you're not.
Well, I'm just telling like it is. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry you guys can't handle the truth.
It shocked me. You can watch whatever you want to watch. Do I have time for one more, Josh?
I think so. It's Friday. Why not?
Well, which one do you want to go with? I don't want to do two because like you just said, it's Friday, and I don't care enough to do two stories.
Let's do the last one just because it's kind of easy, right?
I don't care enough. Again, with the ridiculous things being dropped off at the neighborhood thrift store. And this one comes from just, you go that way, you go east, I believe, to get to Janesville, Wisconsin. A live cluster bomb was dropped off at the Janesville, Wisconsin Goodwill shop. Oh, and also some ammunition.
I'd like a cluster bomb.
I would love a cluster bomb. That'd be so cool.
I'm sorry, sir. The restaurant has a 20-minute wait. Oh, my cluster bomb says otherwise.
Okay, Wapple. Now hearing your passion for wanting to own your own cluster bomb, Now I believe your story. I believe it. I believe every word about it. I had a driving instructor who kept making me drive through the drive-thrus so she could get different brands of fast food. Now I believe it. It happened. By God, it did. Josh was the one who didn't believe you, not me.
Yeah, that was clearly me giving you grief there.
Cluster bombs are like the best thing to throw in video games. Oh, they're so much fun.
I don't know. I didn't know what a cluster bomb was until I saw the article.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny bomb, like a grenade. You throw it, and then it hits the ground and explodes, and there's a bunch of other bombs that blow up.
Ah!
Cluster bomb.
So you've thrown many in video games?
Oh, tons of them. Yeah.
You take out your enemies in what game?
Call of Duty.
Call plus Duty. Okay,
Is that your favorite game?
No.
What is it? Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed.
I played one of those. That's fun.
Yeah, I've been really, really, really into it.
An employee at the Janesville Goodwill made this discovery. A cluster bomb and a bunch of ammunition. They had to call in the damn Wisconsin bomb squad to remove the bomb and how do you call it, ammunition. Do you know how you can tell that they're a Wisconsin bomb squad? Do you know?
No.
I don't know either. Says here, Cubby, cluster bombs, like Wapple was explaining, contain multiple explosive sub-munitions. And they can be dropped from planes or fired from the ground or used in a video game. The police are trying to figure out what knucklehead dropped this stuff off at the... What are you trying to blow all of our great-grandmother's arms off or something?
I have a suspect in mind. You've met my goofy family. One of my cousins lives there.
Ah!
And it's one you might expect would do something like this.
It's the one, isn't it?
It is the one.
Oh, God.
And I'd imagine it wasn't just one cluster bomb in his possession, if that's him. But he's my number one suspect.
Let me tell you something. When Josh checks out at the funeral, sit on the side of the church where his wife's family's at if you want to be safe. Because Josh's family, wee-hoo!
Oh, boy. You're not kidding.
Wee-hoo! A couple of them, woo-wee. You think it might have been him?
He lives there, and I could see it happening.
Unbelievable. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll get some fast food, and we'll come right back.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
So this is the last we're seeing of Nelson Cruz?
I think so, yeah.
464 homers? What a career. Just so many great things to say about that. I mean, we played against each other. You've made me dive a lot. You've made me run into walls.
Since the minors. All the way back into the minors.
Hey, man, I know the next chapter. I know what the things that you're doing in Dominican with the youngsters and just what you do there is unbelievable.
There you go. Here's the deal. I got to get the hell out of the way. We're running late. We got Josh's News coming up, and then Shaver and Ryder, a couple of high-maintenance pricks. They don't like it when we run late. So I'll just throw this at you. I spent my time last night watching a current NHL hockey game, which isn't something I normally dial into.
It's been a while for you.
Pigs and the Devils game last night. They busted their ass to try and come back and win that effing hockey game, but in the end, they fell short by a final of 5-3. Sucks when you fall behind 3-0. 3-0 it was, 3-0.
2-0, you could come back. It's the hardest lead to hold.
That's what they say, Wapple. The Pigs are struggling. They've lost a few in a row now. The New York Rangers are coming to town tomorrow night. Speaking of hockey, Golden Gopher hockey are at home tonight versus Duluth. They got a home-and-home kind of a deal. We'll cover every damn thing that's going on this weekend in about a half hour. And we got Andrew DePaola stopping by. And we got the Purple Pick'em, sponsored by the Next Generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. And we got Dad Fights. So we got plenty to do. Josh's News is coming up.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The football season is underway, and Believe podcasts are talking about it.
When he went home and went to sleep, Michael Parsons was terrorizing him.
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
And to be only producing 15 points a game, that's something that is definitely disheartening.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
As a quarterback, I would expect him to be acting like that. Take the accountability. Put that on yourself. Don't put it on your teammates.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's not even like I posted an inappropriate picture. Somebody could be like, oh, maybe you should like cover up more or whatever. But like I'm clothed in the picture. Like, I don't know what to do.
AI-generated pornographic images. These of female students at a New Jersey high school were circulated by male classmates, sparking a police investigation. Students at Westfield High School, located about 25 miles west of Manhattan, said one or more classmates used an online AI-backed tool to create the racy images and then shared them with peers. Some of the female students said the sophomore boys at the school were acting weird on Monday, October 16th. Multiple girls started asking questions. And finally, October 20th, one boy revealed what all the whispering was about. At least one student had used girls' photos found online to create the fake nudes and then shared them with other boys in group chats. One parent said, "I'm terrified by how this is going to affect her future. No one can guarantee this won't impact her professionally, academically, or socially." Police reports have been filed, and investigators are working to determine exactly who's involved. State officials in Virginia, California, Minnesota, and New York have all outlawed the distribution of AI-generated porn or have given victims the right to sue in civil court.
That's so messed up.
I would like to learn how to do that just to prank family members. But that's not right when you're dealing with kids.
Yeah, it's sick.
Or anyone for that matter. But wouldn't it be kind of fun to... at your uncle's next birthday party, put up some pictures on the wall of the American Legion that you create. Anyone think that'd be big hit?
A naked man brawled with a Las Vegas police officer in the middle of a busy road before stealing the cop's patrol vehicle. Oh, I bet that's embarrassing as an officer. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department responded to a report of a naked man in the street about 11:15 p.m. Tuesday. Video filmed by a nearby driver showed an officer fighting with the 29-year-old naked man in the middle of the intersection.
That sucks.
The two can be seen wrestling. Oh, no. And at one point, the nude dude knocks the officer's head off and forces him to the ground. "You got a cop and a naked dude," Kyle Evan, who filmed the altercation, said. The suspect then jumped into the marked F-150 and sped off with the lights still flashing.
It's a real-life Grand Theft Auto.
After jacking the police vehicle, the suspect led police on a chase for about 5 miles before crossing the median, driving into oncoming traffic, blowing through a red light, and then sadly crashing into the passenger side of an SUV, injuring 2 people in that vehicle and himself.
That would be a scene to see. You're just a bystander on the side of the road.
Is that guy naked?
Oh my gosh, is he still in that car now?
then that guy has naked butt cheeks on the car.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you hinted at, Josh, I think if I'm a cop and I'm fighting a naked dude, if we're just trading punches and kicks, I think I could live with that. But as soon as the wrestling begins, that's where I turn in my badge.
Yeah, and I don't know what the temperature is in Vegas.
Oh, it's hot.
So the cop might have been in shorts, and he's got stuff rubbing on his legs.
Boy.
When the wrestling begins, that's where I tap out.
An overnight slow-speed chase involving a 47-year-old man driving a forklift through a Sacramento neighborhood and onto a bike trail ended with the man's arrest early Monday. The situation unfolded just before midnight when officers saw a forklift driving down a neighborhood street. They tried to make a traffic stop, but the forklift driver continued along the road. Just a heads up if you're driving, there's some police sirens in this clip.
Another guy driving a forklift that's blacked out in the roadway. Yeah, he's clearly not going to stop. I guess we'll just call it a pursuit.
I don't want anybody pooping their pants.
Driving a forklift.
The slow-speed chase continued as the driver navigated through the neighborhood at a blistering 10 miles an hour.
A forklift. I had no idea that it was going to be a forklift. It was a very slow chase.
As sirens blared through the night, residents in the area took to social media to look up what was unfolding, and they listened along to the police scanner.
What's the industry standard runtime for a full propane tank on a forklift? Not very long.
Wasn't very long. Other neighbors saw the strange scene firsthand. We were looking out our window and we could see what looked like a forklift going fairly slowly, just kind of casually cruising down our street here. And then there were 7 cop cars trailing behind it, one witness said. Police say the driver rammed through a chain link fence at a park and then continued onto a bike trail where he eventually became disabled.
I felt dumb. I thought forklifts would run on gas, not propane. I was kind of shocked about that.
I guess I would have never thought that either, Waffle.
Both of you are dumb.
Unrelated to our current conversation. A 21-year-old Milwaukee man is accused of biting off a person's fingertip at a wedding Friday.
Oh, no.
Dang, we were at a Wisconsin wedding, Ashley, yours. You remember being married? It was a very brief amount of time.
Yep.
And that's what we were hoping for.
I'm sorry I let you down.
We saw nothing like that.
Maybe next time.
You would have thought we would have seen something like that at a Wisconsin casino a couple weeks ago, too.
True, yeah. We never saw that either.
No one biting off anybody's tip.
According to the criminal complaint, officers were dispatched to a golf course and wedding venue after it was reported someone bit off another wedding goer's fingertip.
We've got a report of one person trying to fight off other people. There's a report that someone bit a finger off.
Wait, she did that wrong.
We've got a report of one person trying to fight off other people. There's a report that someone bit a finger off.
That's better. When officers arrived, the suspect was sitting on a couch with blood on his sleeve, which didn't appear to be from him. There was also blood on the floor between the foyer and ballroom. Gross. A witness told investigators there were two incidents. The original was when the suspect inappropriately touched another guest. Those nearby got upset with the man, and they moved him to a side room closed off from the main ballroom. The complaint said during that time, the bride and groom were trying to calm the defendant down, which led to the second incident where the suspect began yelling loudly and became disorderly. He was told if he didn't leave within 5 minutes, police would be called. A scuffle then ensued, and 3 others pinned the suspect to the ground. While that happened, the animal bit off the tip of someone's finger. The fingertip was located and put into a cup of ice where the flower girl accidentally drank from. Oh, man, that was gross.
She drank some what?
Yeah, she didn't know the finger was in there.
Finger blood?
When police spoke with the man, he said he didn't know what happened. A preliminary breath test sample registered a .210.
I couldn't do that to someone, bite off their fingertip. You want to know why? What if that's their booger-picking hand?
Right.
What if that's
their butt-scratching finger?
Butt scratcher.
Another day, another inconsiderate plane passenger making the friendly skies a little less friendly.
Just shut it off.
This time, a female traveler decided to run onto the airport tarmac in a harebrained attempt to prevent a plane from leaving her behind. She's the most important person on that flight.
Yep.
A lady who had missed her flight clearly thought she should still catch it. Eyewitness Simon Hales wrote in a Facebook post describing the ludicrous incident which occurred Wednesday in Australia. According to Hales, the entitled woman had run past security down to the tarmac to try and halt the flight departing for Adelaide.
Door controls are there, so she's just banging on all the buttons, and it must have just unlocked the door. The alarms go off at that point.
In the footage, the unidentified bozo can be seen on the runway attempting to flag down the pilot as if hailing a cab.
She's like trying to yell at the pilot. She's trying to get his attention and jump up or something. I don't know. It was bizarre.
In a similar incident in July, a passenger en route to Bangkok demanded the pilot turn the plane around because he forgot his bag at the airport. And in another Me First airplane ruckus, the same month, a United Airlines flight bound for Amsterdam had to be diverted to Chicago after a drunken passenger was allegedly upset he didn't get his preferred meal of choice. Wow. It's that time of year again. Time to change the clocks back to the end of daylight saving time.
It is really an idea adopted during the First World War to save energy for the war effort. And that's why it's daylight saving or saving. Of course, here in the United States, you're not going to say, here's a great idea the Germans had, let's adopt it.
Fortunately, this is the proverbial time to fall back, giving ourselves another hour of sleep. Clock should go back at 2 a.m. on Sunday, which gives us an extra hour for rum runners and dry humping on the dance floor.
I think it had to do with farmers, right? The farmers needed the extra daylight.
I feel like it's a fake hour.
I'm a DJ, so it's an extra hour in the club.
Sure. Cell phones and other smart devices should update automatically, of course, but those not connected to the internet will have to be set back manually.
An extra hour in the club. We all could use that.
Heck yeah.
No.
Treyu's new EP, A Torch in the Dark, is out today. The new album is the third and final installment in a trilogy which began in April. With their first new album in 2 years, today marks the debut of the fourth album from Bad Wolves, Die About It. Also out today, Spirit Box's fourth EP, Fear, the Fear, that is, of Fear. And finally...
I'm sorry, the album title is The Fear of Fear?
That's right.
That's somewhat confusing.
I get scared of being scared. And finally, Mickey Dolenz, the last remaining member of the Monkees, who, of course, were a major influence on the Beatles, is releasing a 4-song EP of REM covers called Dolenz Sings REM.
Let me tell you something. I hate REM.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan. I love Mickey Dolenz, though.
But I'll listen to that record because Mickey Dolenz has something to do with it.
The new covers album also features his renditions of Radio Free Europe, Man on the Moon, and more. Check out the rest of the week in rock on 93X.com's notable new releases post. Tickets are on sale today at 10 a.m. for the 93X Nutcracker, starring Falling in Reverse, Daughtry, and Sleep Theory. The show is Friday, December 8th at the Armory. You can buy them this morning and then win them all weekend, as it is a 93X Nutcracker weekend. When you hear the keyword, text it to the Luther Kia of Bloomington text line, 651-989-9393, to be entered to win this weekend. New in theaters, Priscilla. Director Sofia Coppola's Priscilla isn't the first time the story of the woman married to the world's most famous man's been told, but it's the first time she's been given top billing. Priscilla tells the story of when the teen meets Elvis Presley, the man who's already a rock and roll superstar but becomes someone entirely unexpected in private moments. Also in theaters, Meg Ryan and David Duchovny star in What Happens Later. After finding themselves snowed in overnight in an airport, a couple rekindles a lost romance decades later. And lastly in theaters, The Marsh King's Daughter. A woman seeks revenge against the man who kidnapped her mother.
Oh.
Daisy Ridley stars. On the streaming side this weekend, from underdog to Hollywood legend, Sylvester Stallone tells his story in the documentary Sly, now streaming on Netflix. Today on Hulu, Quiz Lady, starring Aquafina and Sandra Oh as sisters trying to clear their mom's gambling debt by competing on a game show. The Simpsons annual Treehouse of Horror episode airs Sunday night on Fox.
Yes.
And from executive producer Taylor Sheridan, the untold story of the first black U.S. Marshal, later the inspiration for the Lone Ranger, lawman Bass Reeves, premiering Sunday on Paramount+.
That was Taylor Sheridan?
Yep.
So I'm going to have to watch it.
That's all I needed to.
Everything he makes.
He is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, they just announced he's going to have 2 more spin-offs.
My goodness.
2 more. He's been
Where does the guy get the time?
Probably Westerns, too.
Never even heard of the guy, but I'm going to watch that show.
Odell Beckham Jr. turns 31 Sunday. Noted badass Robert Patrick will be 65. Tomorrow, Matthew McConaughey will bless the birthday mood by turning 54. The Karate Kid Ralph Macchio, 62 tomorrow. Birthdays for today. He's got a black belt in karate and a master's degree in chemical engineering. Ivan Drago in Rocky IV and Creed II. Dolph Lundgren, 66.
Ivan Drago.
And often referred to as the best Monday Night Football announcer of all time, Dennis Miller, 70. Happy birthday to backdoor slamming. Well, people love Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football.
They want him back still.
Am I misremembering?
That was such an absolute, utter disaster.
You know, I like him enough, but yeah, that was not good.
Talk about a guy who could keep himself occupied with the sound of his own voice until the day that he died.
I had to have like the Encyclopedia Britannica in front of me to kind of page through and look for references he was making. Happy birthday to Backdoor Slam and Walleye Jesus, turning another year hotter tomorrow. Happy 50th tomorrow to Hot Widow Sheezus from your daughter, No Sheezus, Name Me Sheezus.
Hot Widow, huh?
Congratulations to Beef Cannon Jesus. Just put in his 2 weeks notice and said he's feeling oh so damn good about it.
Good for you.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
You're making a terrible mistake.
Yeah, you'll be back in about a month.
Yeah.
And a shout out to all the deer hunters this weekend. That's 93X News.
The Minnesota Vikings interview.
That's more encroachment when you go that far. You go what? That's more than encroachment. Touchdown! Vikings win it!
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
To me, it's about execution. It's about doing the little things right around Jaron, allowing him to feel like he's in a position where he could just go out and do his job that he's been coached to do, and then we kind of frame what that job looks like based upon the responsibilities at the line of scrimmage or some of the things that he's been preparing week in and week out, really since he arrived here for this moment. It's going to seem like we're getting him ready to, for his first start, but I really look at it as if we've been doing our job. He's been getting ready for this for a while, just not knowing when that time would come.
Happy to be here. Looking forward to this opportunity this week. Got a good task at hand for us in Atlanta, their place. They're leading their division, playing really good football right now. But for us, it's just keeping it 1-0 mindset, just focusing on our prep each and every day, and just taking it small and simple and building up till game day.
All makes perfect sense. That's how I would have put it too. That's how I would have said it too. There you go. It's our Friday. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, come on in, boys.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome.
How wonderful it is that you've joined us, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. We got lots to cover. I'm sure you've got lots to say. Also, let's bring in the big guy here, Andrew DePaola. D-Po.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
What's going on, son?
What's going on?
Well, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you here as you join the broadcast like you do every Friday here. I'm not trying to add any more pressure than you might already be feeling, but I just got a text from Dishwasher Dude Jesus who says, I'm just sitting in my car here smoking a couple of joints before work.
Any pressure so far? Or?
So far, no. I'm feeling pretty good.
He's just
doesn't
sitting
sound
in
like
his
he's
car.
feeling a lot of pressure.
Well, no, I mean, he's sitting in his car smoking a couple of joints before work. So, you know, we got an audience out there that we're expected to entertain.
We also got a couple texts wondering how far down the depth chart you are to play quarterback, as you once did in your career, Andrew.
Probably very far. I don't know if you can see me at the bottom.
Well, it's always fun, like in hockey, where you find out like a local high school hockey coach has to step in because, you know, the team has lost so many goalies for one reason or another.
Yes, the emergency goaltender.
So you're not on that list?
No, and if I am, no one's told me about it.
The emergency goaltender, those make for some great stories.
My oldest, his hockey coach was an emergency goaltender. He suited up once. I don't think he got in the game, if I remember right.
But they had him on the bench for an NHL game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'd be terrified.
The last time I saw an emergency goaltender on SportsCenter. So it doesn't happen terribly often.
No.
But it's usually a guy, you know, who played some college hockey, you know, maybe got drafted, maybe not. And then, you know, sometimes they work for the team, they work for the club and things like that. You were going to say something, Depot?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, if you could go into a little more depth about this emergency goalie thing. Because, like, you have, I don't know how many goalies an NHL team carries.
Usually they got two of them.
Okay, they got two. So
starter
goes down,
they got a couple down in the minor, a couple down in the minors, but it's not always that easy to bring those other fellas up here. So they keep a guy around just for, you know, emergencies.
No kidding.
Fun, right? You can see your old gym teacher between the pipes or something. You know what I mean? That's fun. Hey,
wow.
How did trick-or-treating go with the young kids that you got living over at your place?
It was cold. We the kids had a great time, but we kept asking our daughter, like, hey, are you okay? Do you want a jacket? Do you want a blanket? She didn't want the jacket because then you cover up the costume. And she didn't want to get in the little wagon we were pushing around with the blanket because she wanted to walk around like a big girl and go up to the doors herself. But, you know, we were like 6 or 7 houses in and, you know, we were asking her, hey, how you doing? And her, like, lips are quivering. And she's like, I'm good. And I'm like, I got to make a parent decision here and we got to call it. And my wife was like, yeah, we have to start heading back.
Yeah, they don't want to give in, do they?
No, they definitely don't.
Yeah, it was a cold night. What was that, Tuesday night?
Yep.
Yeah.
That always stunk when you were a kid, and it was so cold out, so that means you had your cool costume, you had to cover it up with like a jacket and
I
stuff.
hated that.
Yeah,
that was the worst. You were so proud of that costume, and then, you know, you're covering it up with mittens and stuff.
Did you or the wife dress up, DePaola?
We didn't dress up the trick-or-treat. We dressed up for the team Halloween party.
Oh, wow.
What'd you go as?
Team Halloween party.
We went as Captain Hook and Peter Pan.
Oh, sweet.
I'd love to see a photo of that.
How wild does the
might
team...
be one floating around.
How
Did
wild
you
does
guys see a lot? Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. Did you guys see a lot of trick-or-treaters out,
No.
Andrew? Because we had 2. We had a grand total of 2 come by our
They
neighborhood.
were just skipping your house, Brad.
We had quite a few, actually, this
No,
year.
I know. We
Your
moved
reputation
into...
is such that nobody wants to
yeah,
stop.
Yeah, Randy,
Nobody wants
okay.
to floss and pennies.
That's right.
We give out full-size candy bars, too. We moved into our house in Egan about 9 years ago, and we had about 80 to 100 the first year, and we had 2 Tuesday night.
Barsaw Jesus just texted in and said he bought 10 pounds of candy and 108 beers for trick-or-treaters and their parents. He said he had 8 kids and 1 adult all night.
Oh, no.
Then he finished all of that, the beer and the candy himself that night.
Nick would go through that candy. Beer maybe in the past, but boy, do you love candy now.
I've
They
become
just weren't people out at all.
I've become hooked on sweets. Yeah, Brad Ryder, I was saying earlier this week, I've never lived in a neighborhood ever in my life where it was terribly busy on Halloween, no matter the weather. So we only had the doorbell ring 2 or 3 times the other night. And like you said, it was pretty friggin' cold out, so, Speaking of the cold, I was just reading about a member of the Buffalo Bills by the name of Leonard Fournette. Now, he played in Tampa Bay for a few years, and now he's in Buffalo. And he's currently describing the weather in Buffalo as colder than a penguin's ass. But then again, I saw this story online, and they showed, I think his direct quote was, "It's getting colder than a penguin's ass out here." I looked at the current weather in Buffalo. It's like 50s and 60s. I mean, guy, did he get spoiled playing in that warm weather?
Well, he must have.
He grew up in New Orleans. He went to LSU. Then he played at Jacksonville and Tampa Bay. So I don't think he's quite used to that weather.
Yeah, somebody might want to pull him aside and say, son, just wait about 4 or 5 weeks.
I'll tell you,
hours.
In that weather, I have a friend who lives in California, and we used to visit quite often. And when it got to be 50s or 60s, people were wearing winter clothing out there. We had rented a car, and it was a convertible. I had the top down, and people were laughing at me, and it was mid-50s. They just thought it was ridiculous.
I get all that, but this guy's played in the league long enough. He must have played in some December games in New England or Cleveland or Chicago or something like that. He's whining. It's 50 degrees. Andrew DePaola, if I were on the Buffalo Bills, I'd question the toughness of my teammate.
Absolutely. I think this time of year, you pray for a 50-degree day. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you're about ready to get smacked into the face by some real cold. I mean, pretty soon. I don't know. I don't have your schedule in front of me, but do you have any daunting outdoor games as we grow closer to the end of the year?
No, I think we got taken care of this year, I guess, with the schedule. So I think our next, we're at Denver soon coming up, and then we're
that could be 60s.
Yeah. Denver can go either way. That city's
Denver's
crazy.
And then we're at Cincinnati. I think those are our last outside games.
Anyone have a favorite colder than a saying? My favorite as a kid, my dad taught me this when I was a little kid. Colder than a well digger's ass. I always liked that one. I didn't get it for the longest time when I was a little kid. Colder than a well digger's ass. Yeah, this Fournette guy's going to have a rude awakening because they're going to play some home games before the year is out.
You know what, though? I think he's probably just happy he's on a roster because he wasn't on a roster to start the year.
Hey, what was that stuff Kyle Rudolph said that he used to rub on his arms? Because I remember us asking, it was a really cold game the Vikings played, and he was wearing short sleeves, and he said it's not a big deal. They rub something on their arms.
I think it was called anal ease.
That's what it was. Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's
no,
right.
I read that wrong.
DePaola, do you know what we're talking about?
I think it was called warm skin.
Warm skin?
Yeah, we have it. It'll be in like the bathroom, like during away games. It'll just be sitting there like a tube of it, and you can you apply it on like your open skin areas, and you really don't feel anything.
Yeah, so
warm skin. Well, then, Nick, what were you talking about? What would anal ease be?
Yeah, it's for your car.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it
like
keeps
the trunk,
and no squeaking of the doors. Yeah, I remember Kyle said this stuff worked, and now Andrew, you're saying it works too. You just put it on your skin, you don't feel the cold.
Yeah, I'll put it like on like the back of my neck, and that's really it. I don't really like putting that stuff on.
Deer
like
hunters,
arms or anything.
Deer hunters, before you leave town, try to find a jar of that stuff at Mills Fleet Farm. See if it works in that situation.
So I guess, do you prefer the long sleeves then versus putting that stuff on? You just say you don't like to wear it?
No, I don't wear long sleeves. Nope.
Okay.
Gotta show off the pipes, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
Strong forearms.
I just don't like anything like bothering my elbows or like anything when I got to snap. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Starting a rookie quarterback is the word this weekend, Andrew DePaola. Starting a rookie quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Got Jaron.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about your rookie year. Does anyone even bother to learn your name in your rookie year?
Some do. The older guys, not so much, because they're like, prove that you're going to stick around longer than a week or a month, and I'll learn your name.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, like once you make the team and you've been on the team for a couple weeks, people will start to figure out your name.
Is it wildly different, than say playing D1 college football? And if so, how?
What, like the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. D1 college ball, you're getting your hand held the whole time. People are making sure you're going to class. They're making sure you're watching film. Here at this level, it's kind of like, hey, man, you're a grown-up. Start acting like it.
I hear you.
You seem pretty even keel, but were your nerves going crazy when you first started?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said no. Yeah, definitely. I think at that point you don't want to mess up or be the reason that the team loses a game or doesn't perform well. And my job, much like a lot of other guys, directly impacts people doing theirs. So I just wanted to do well and help my team win. I didn't want to be a reason why we didn't.
I hear you. The rookie. We'll see how this kid does, Jaron Hall, against the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, I have another colder than a saying. And this comes from a longtime listener. He and I have had our personal problems, but I think we're over the bump now, Josh. How do you say that?
Yeah,
I think
over the hump. I hope so.
We've had some problems. He and I.
You guys smooth things out with some anal ease.
Yes, we have. Medical device Jesus texted in and said, "It's colder than my father's heart when he left for cigarettes."
He'll be back any second, kids.
Oh, my God.
That was my folks' line for a while. Either one of them would use it. I guess I'd say my dad probably. My folks got divorced in 1983 or something like that, and then for whatever reason they got remarried, Andrew DePaola. It's the stupidest story you've ever heard, but maybe 13 years went by and they got remarried, and it's been misery ever since. But anyway, whenever anyone asked my folks, hey, what happened when the two of you got divorced? And my dad said, I left for the hardware store, never came back.
Tell Depot how when your parents broke the news to you, how it was the opposite of every after-school special.
Yeah. You don't hear these stories very often, but it's true. When my folks got divorced, they sat the three of us down, me and my twin brother and our older sister, and they directly told us that their split was our fault. A lot of families do it. A lot of couples, when they get divorced, they go out of their way to make sure the children know, hey, this is not going to affect our love for you.
This was not on you.
This was not on you. This is adult problems that you children wouldn't understand. They pointed the finger directly at us.
Oh, man. And then they got married when you guys moved out of the house.
It was a tough pill. It was a tough pill to swallow, Andrew DePaola, but I think it made me the man that I am today.
You know what? It made you better. Adversity, it crushes some people, but then again, others, look, right here, prime example.
You better get busy doing something big here, Andrew DePaola. We're going to start looking elsewhere for weekly guests. You've got two teammates who are being recognized as Players of the Month. You better get cracking.
Well, if I could lead the league in sacks and be a rookie phenom, I'd be bringing a lot more to the table. But I'm just the long snapper.
You're doing your thing
Don't
just fine.
Don't you ever say that again.
Yeah. Don't you ever say that.
You're doing your thing just fine, and I'm just busting your balls because of the abuse I got from my parents as a kid.
Projecting.
Danielle Hunter and Jordan Addison were named NFC Defensive Player of the Month and NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month.
It's about time.
Yeah, they're really cooking.
Speaking of which, when does voting for the Pro Bowl start? Pretty soon, so we can get this campaign going again?
I actually do not know. I don't know.
Okay. It's got to start fairly soon, I would think.
I didn't realize it was a fan vote thing. It's a fan vote thing?
Yeah, well, that's part of it. That's how he got in last year, was because of this.
Oh, I thought we just said that to make him feel bad.
Oh, we're taking credit for real?
Sure.
I thought we were joking.
thought so.
I thought we just said that so he would feel obligated to us. I didn't know.
Yeah, we were trying to manipulate him into coming back this year.
Oh, sorry. I blew it.
Well, it worked. Hey, listen, win-win. You guys got what you all wanted, and I got, obviously, the Pro Bowl.
If you win an award, like Nick was just talking about, do you get treated different that week? Do you get hazed, or do people genuinely congratulate you on getting an honor like that?
No, it's a genuine congratulations. I think everyone understands how hard it is to play and perform in the NFL when you get recognized for doing something as well as those two have. It's a genuine congratulations. They're doing awesome.
I was wondering,
they really are.
I always thought it was funny, like in baseball, where someone hits a home run, they come back to the dugout, and nobody acknowledges them, doesn't even look at the person.
Yeah, they get shunned.
Yeah, not going to give them that satisfaction.
That is a great bit. Andrew DePaola, some folks get wound up about the changing of the clocks. Do you give a rat's ass?
Yes, I do now that I'm a parent, and my kids don't understand it, so they're just going to be up now at 5 instead of 6 a.m.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, it's become a thing. People argue back and forth about this changing of the clocks gimmick. I've never really followed it that closely, but sure, you got little kids. Yeah, now they're going to start rattling your cage even earlier. Well, here's the deal. We know you got to get going. We'll be watching Sunday as you boys take on the Atlanta Falcons, and we always appreciate your time, Depot.
Appreciate you guys as always, man. Thank you for having me on. This is a fun time. I can't wait. I can't wait to come on again next week.
Talk to you next week, man.
Yep. All right, guys.
Thanks again.
Good
luck. Good luck.
See ya.
The Vikings and the Falcons at noon on Sunday.
What a nice young man.
There you go. Here's where we get to meet a new friend and try to make them some beer money. Our Purple Pick'em segment, sponsored by the Next Generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. Here's the deal. You got to listen to the radio station at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for your keyword to text. And if you're selected, we'll get you on air for these predictions. Let's talk to Tim, and he's from all the way over there in Deer Park, Wisconsin. Where Tim at?
Good morning.
Good morning, Tim. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're doing all right. It's Friday. Is it your Friday?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Fair enough.
Tim, you live in Deer Park?
Here we go.
I do.
That's cool.
Here we go.
Why is that cool, Ashley?
I used to live there.
Do you know Tim?
No, I do not know Tim.
Yes, you do.
I do know you, Tim?
Oh.
How well?
I don't know. I'm a face person, not a name person.
I knew this was going to get awkward.
Oh, jeez.
I knew it was going to get awkward. I knew we should have left out the Deer Park, Wisconsin part. Tim. We're looking to win you some money. Now, here's how it works. We need 2 predictions from you on Sunday's big game. If you get one of those predictions right, $1,000. If you get them both,
great.
Yeah, I like the sound of that myself. If you get them both correct, $100,000 and a trip to that big stinking championship game.
Oh, that's better.
That would be awesome.
Yes, absolutely. You finally get the hell out of Deer Park, and I would imagine you'd never come back.
Oh, I bet if you, by the way, if you win that $100,000 and the trip to the game, I bet Ashley remembers you then. We were so close.
Oh my God. She'd say, I remember him. We used to call him Timmy. Here's the deal. We need the prediction for the halftime score. Go, Tim.
Minnesota 7, Atlanta 14.
Yeah. And the final.
I'm going with Minnesota 17 and Atlanta 24.
You got it. We've got it all written down, and you're covered. We'll see how things play out. And we'll be rooting for you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good weekend.
You too,
Yeah,
guys.
you'll remember him if he wins that big prize. For
sure.
I've always been awful with names.
Purple Pick'em, sponsored by the Next Generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. There he goes. Thursday night football last night. Something happened. Anybody want to tell me?
They played a football game.
Pittsburgh.
And one
Pittsburgh
team won and one team lost.
Well, who were the
Pittsburgh
teams?
won a very, very boring game against Tennessee. How about
Pittsburgh
that?
beat Tennessee, and you were bored by this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw one person tweet after watching the game. They say, after that game, I just feel whelmed. I was not underwhelmed. I was not overwhelmed.
It was just enough.
I was just whelmed.
Golden Gopher football tomorrow hosts the Fightin' Illini. That'll be good. I like the sounds of that. I was telling everyone earlier, I spent my time watching the Pigs game last night.
You don't do that very often.
I
during the regular
don't
season.
I don't watch current NHL games like I used to. No, I do not. But I sat and I took it in, And I'll tell you, they fought like a son of a bitch to try to come back and win that hockey game. But in the end, the final was 5 for New Jersey and 3 for our Man-Bear Pigs. You know, they fell behind 3-0. And the Devils' power play did them in. New Jersey had 3 damn goals with the man advantage. I believe I'm correct about that. 3 of them.
Yep.
Some little bastard named Jesper Bratt. Did you see this kid skating around the rink?
I did not.
State of hockey, my ass.
Yeah, no, I watched a good part of the game, too.
This kid was quick. I mean, I like the looks of this. He had a goal and 3 assists. That's a solid night's work. The Pigs are struggling. They're struggling. New Jersey's a solid club, but they're struggling. And now the New York Rangers come to town tomorrow night. Golden Gopher Hockey's got a home with Duluth. Yes, Randy.
I was just going to say your buddy, the coach there, had made a statement after the game, something to the effect of, "I don't think our players knew the game started at 7."
That's the spray tan man.
Yeah, something like, I think they thought the game started at 7:30.
Wolves in Utah tomorrow night over there at Target Center. The NBA's new in-season tournament starts tonight, and we don't really have time to get into it. Maybe we can talk about it on Monday. But they're kicking off this new.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
A couple more notes here, real quick. The Twins exercised their 2024 club options on Max Kepler and Jorge Polanco. Now, I've never been too sharp with all that fancy contractual mumbo jumbo, but I believe that means those 2 donkeys are sticking around, right?
I think it's a 1-year deal, right, for each one of them?
All right, I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep. One year, $10 million.
Yeah, it also makes them a little bit more marketable to other teams since they're not on the hook for more than 1 year if they were to trade them.
And you see, Brad Ryder, I've heard some stories around town saying that maybe Jorge Polanco gets traded because they've got Julian and they've got Royce Lewis and they've got Mers and Cal Portner.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It makes them a little bit more attractive from an economic standpoint.
Great middle infielders that are available to the Twins. I'm rolling out through the names of great middle infielders that are available to the Twins. Nelson Cruz as retard.
So this is the last we're seeing of Nelson Cruz?
I think so, yeah.
464 homers? What a career. Just so many great things to say about that. I mean, we played against each other. You've made me dive a lot. You've made me run into walls.
Since the minors. All the way back into the minors.
Hey, man, I know the next chapter. I know what the things that you're doing in Dominican with the youngsters and just what you do there is unbelievable.
Who's that? Someone talking to Nelly Cruz?
That's right. Adam Jones.
43 years old. He retires. 19 years in the majors. He certainly was one of my favorite guys to watch at the plate.
He's a Hall of Fame guy, don't you think?
I hope so.
I think he's a Hall of Fame guy.
I never have a solid answer on that because I always forget the parameters.
Almost 500 home runs in this. I suppose maybe there's some skepticism because he was on a steroids list at one point.
Nobody cares about that.
Well, I don't know.
I'm kidding. Lots of people care about that. I don't, but the people who make these decisions do.
I don't know. What do you think, Brad?
The thing that he's got going for him is that he kept doing it as he got older after that era.
Well, I think he hit his vast majority of his homers after 30.
Here's the deal. He finished his career with 464 dongs. 399 of those came after his 30th birthday.
That's amazing.
He was one of my favorites. I'm happy for him. He's going to have a great time in retirement, and I hope he ends up in the Hall of Fame. I couldn't tell you one way or the other if he'll get there.
Hey, Nick, I just want to let you know, I would get a Mers jersey if he ever played in the league.
God damn.
Or if he just offers one right now for whatever he's up to, I'd get a Mers jersey.
Can you imagine the damage he'd do on road trips?
Oh, jeez.
My God. Cal would behave, but Mers would be. The boys are ravenous at this point, Wapple. Let's let them fight.
Brad is jacking off.
I don't know. Why you always gotta?
Every morning at this time.
What is it about this time on Friday?
I don't know.
You're gross.
Just gross.
Shame on you.
I'm using some of that lube you were talking about.
Yuck. Too far. Little up front, lot in the back. Little up front.
Speaking of such terrible things, Just received a text message from fourth-year apprentice Jesus. And this is the fourth year in a row that he has texted us to alert us. Here's what he says. Fourth year in a row, he sent us a message similar to this. Nick, he says, Nick, this is my annual reminder that I will be touching myself in the deer stand this weekend.
I like his commitment.
Do you guys remember that he always sends us that message?
Every year.
Appreciate that. And good luck and be careful. All the deer hunters heading out, they're probably already up there.
Orange Friday, right? Isn't that today?
Yeah,
I guess I've never heard it called that.
I saw a couple people text it. Well, Fleet Farm does a sale like Black Friday, I guess.
Oh, I see.
They're blowing through beers already. They're getting set for the deer hunt. Okay, a brand new, fresh edition of Dad Fights sits here before us. Dad Fights is our weekly trivia, HJ. Ex-lovers turned arch-rivals Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder step in here every Friday to try and show how much useless knowledge they have knocking around in their skulls. Our listeners get involved. They pick a side. They play along. They send hurtful emails and text messages. As a matter of fact, there's one couple in our listening audience who says that they engage in sexual intercourse during our Dad Fight segment every Friday.
Come on.
What do you? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's the problem?
Why?
They engage in sexual intercourse during our Dad Fight segment every Friday, and they say that they switch positions anytime there is a correct answer. Why are we all writhing around like that's terrible news? I think that's wonderful. All right, so like we covered, the Vikings have a rookie starting Sunday's ball game in Georgia. Jaron Hall, that's the kid's name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. You nailed it.
Jaron Hall.
You got someone's name right.
Yeah,
for
surprisingly.
No, it's Jerry Ball. I thought it was Jerry Ball.
That's
Jerry
a different
Ball.
guy.
That would be something to see.
Oh, my God.
Lucille Ball.
Oh, my God.
All right, it's not an ideal situation for a ball club starting a rookie, but it doesn't always mean instant disaster. Sometimes the rookie goes out there and pulls a win smooth out the ass. The subject of today's Dad Fights Trivia Showdown is great rookie quarterback performances. There has been many a time in NFL history where a rookie quarterback went out onto the ball field and played wonderfully, led their club to a win, and then went out later and got wildly intoxicated and hooked up with a partner. Some of these boys that we'll be asking you about still play the game. Some do not. Some of these great rookie performances were a springboard for a terrific career. Some of these dudes didn't amount to a pile of dog feces. But what they all have in common is they went out there as rookies and got her done. Great performances, great rookie quarterback performances, boys. As usual, shout out your answer when you think you have it. You want to try to beat your opponent to the correct answer. If you're correct, you'll hear this bell, and that means you've registered a point. I've gotten a kick out of this the last few weeks where we don't really know what we're going to do with the incorrect answer. If you're incorrect, what do you want to do, everybody?
Wapo, do you got something lined up?
I do.
What do you got? Oh,
a boner sound effect, because you guys pulled the boner. You got it wrong.
Yes.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fine. We'll go with the boner sound effect. You can steal an answer if your opponent screws up. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary. And I have to be honest, I've completely misplaced the name of the listener who's doing... Oh, no, I think I remember it now. Is it Killer Jesus?
Yes, it is.
Letterbuck.
This is Killer Jesus coming at you this week with Dad Fights 147, which is going to pit Brad, the Midnight Rider, against Randy, Rump Shaker Shaver. Now, Brad and Randy, let's walk over the rules because I think you guys have forgotten them. Rule number 1, no complaining, no moaning about the questions, because keep this in mind. If you start complaining, Ashley's going to beat a punk down. And remember this, she ain't scared of the sight of blood. Rule number 2, no harsh language. Josh has got sensitive ears. You start using harsh language, he's going to be running home to that smoking hot mom of his. And if that happens, tell her I said hi, Josh.
You bastard.
I love the meatloaf.
Ah, the meatloaf!
Rule number 3, respect the superior athletic knowledge and the superior athletic ability of Nick. We're talking about a beer league hockey legend, the king of Pop-A-Shot, the pickleball prince. Now, Randy, I'm pretty sure you're shaking your head right there, but keep in mind that Nick's beaten you more times at pickleball than Dana's beaten his. Well, we're not going to get into that, but it's a lot.
Oh, my God. Acknowledge me.
And finally, don't you dare ever question the judgment or final ruling of the mighty Wapple. That Muppet right there holds your fate in his hands. You get him upset, he's going to go Cactus Jack, bang, bang. One for each of you there. So mind your P's and Q's will wobble. This is Dad Fights 147.
He made a lot of demands.
I liked that a lot.
That was fun.
Killer Jesus is the one that has done so many of our Dad Fights posters.
He does a great job on
Yeah,
those.
he does.
I
Very
really appreciate
talented.
it.
He made a lot of demands, but he came off cute, and we appreciate it a lot, Killer Jesus. As we get into Dad Fights edition 100 plus 47, great rookie quarterback performances. Here we go with Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder.
This currently unemployed quarterback put up one of the best rookie seasons in the history of the NFL.
Oh.
In only his second game with the 2011 Panthers, he caught
Cam Newton.
Cam
That's how you
Newton.
shout it out right there. Brad,
Now,
thanks for following the orders and shouting out your answer.
Yeah, you did it perfectly. Switch positions for that couple that's listening right now. Cam Newton, not only was he the Offensive Rookie of the Year, he was also the league's first rookie quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in a season and the first to throw for 400 yards in his NFL debut.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Randy acts like he's just some jag-off. You know what I mean? Randy can't stand the guy. 1-0, Brad Ryder. All right, listen closely. He came out of Florida State University.
Christian Ponder.
Good grief.
Nice, man.
Switch positions.
They didn't spend much time in that first position, did they?
No.
Jeez Louise.
Damn,
Wasn't
Randy
their
Shaver.
favorite.
That is correct. Chris Ponder. Wow. I didn't even have to say anything other than where the sumbitch went to school. He came out of Florida State University, and he did have some solid games in his rookie season, including throwing a touchdown pass on the first drive of his first career start, playing against his team's arch rival, the Green Bay Packers, in the 20+11 season. Eventually, though, he became a punchline here in town when it became obvious to the Vikings that it was a big mistake taking him number 12 overall in the draft. Christian Ponder. And we're tied at 1. According to Denalysis, Christian Ponder met his wife, Sam. Anybody know the reference? Ashley does. Guess not. Sam.
Cheers.
There you go. Ponder met his wife, Sam, after messaging her on Twitter. And after 2 months of dating, they apparently drove to Hudson, Wisconsin, and got married after having dinner at Arby's.
That's very romantic.
Dana, are you thinking of you and your first wife? I mean, honestly, that seems so you.
Is that a true story? He married her after 2 months?
That's what it says.
What says where?
On the internet. That's just a story that was told a lot of times.
I'll be damned. That's interesting.
What's the logic behind driving to Hudson?
They only place around that has Arby's, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, driving to Hudson. There's an old Hudson joke. I don't think I can tell it on the air anymore. We're tied at 1 apiece here.
This Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback set league records for the highest rookie passer rating and touchdown interception ratio his rookie season with the Washington Redskins in 2012, leading the team to their first division title since 1999. Then just
Robert Griffin III.
Oh,
yes,
Good one.
Then just 3 years later, he lost the starting job to Kirk Cousins. RG3 was born in Japan, while his parents were stationed there as Army sergeants. That's interesting.
Robert Griffin Part 3. Yeah, now he's on television. Nice one, Brad Ryder.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, it's 2-1. Brad, talking about outstanding rookie quarterback performances. It was 1997 when this guy took his first snap at quarterback, and he lasted a good 10 years in the league from there. Now, back to that very first drive of his career, he and his Arizona Cardinals
Jake
team...
Plummer.
That's another one for Brad Ryder. He and his Arizona Cardinals teammates snaked their way 98 yards down the field in the fourth quarter for the go-ahead touchdown. Jake Plummer. He was already very popular in Arizona before the Cardinals drafted him because of his days playing quarterback for Arizona State University. His teammates said when they'd walk into a restaurant, even an Arby's in Hudson, the whole place would stand up and give him a standing ovation.
Wow.
That's when you know you're the pimp.
No kidding.
He's into all different types of things now. Jake Plummer's a very interesting guy, and he really likes to be high. From what I read last night about Jake Plummer, he really likes to be high. He's into shrooms, grass, and by many accounts is a hell of a nice dude. His former agent Lee Steinberg once said that Jake Plummer is, quote, as close to an egoless star as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear.
Seems like a cool guy.
3-1, Brad Ryder.
Although he didn't live up to the hype of his legendary collegiate career.
Andrew Luck.
Oh, hang on a second. I lost my place. Okay, yeah, that's incorrect.
Not Andrew Luck. At Southern Cal, this quarterback turned TV commentator put up some impressive numbers in his 2006 rookie season with the Cardinals, including lighting up the Vikings for over 400 yards in Week 12. He ended up only making 18 career starts in the NFL after his career at USC, where he won a Heisman, a national championship, and was selected for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Matt Leinart.
That is the correct answer. Matt underwent eye surgery when he was just 3 years old, and he had to be fitted with special glasses after being born cross-eyed. He said the eyewear combined with being overweight made him an easy target for bullies, which he said is what eventually pushed him into sports.
Matt Leinart. Imagine what he was able to pull down on the weekends at Southern Cal. Oh, God.
He and Reggie Bush those years? Are you kidding?
Him and Reggie Bush together?
It's just not fair.
Well, Reggie Bush dated one of the Kardashians for a while, I think, when he was out there.
That
sounds right.
Everybody's dated the Kardashians.
True.
Is it 4-1, Brad?
It is. Yeah.
I'll be dipped. It's 4-1, Brad.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Doing very well here. We got a ways to go, though. This is funny. Hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus texted in a few minutes ago to say that Robert Griffin III dresses like a colorblind idiot. I haven't seen him on television. Does he have interesting things to wear?
I guess I haven't noticed.
He's a little out there.
Yeah, a little eccentric.
He likes to wear things 2 sizes too small sometimes.
Definitely.
Notice that.
Yes.
4-1, Brad. Okay, here we go. Here's a fella who ended up winning 3 Super Bowls, and they dumped his ass into the Hall of Fame once his career was over. He played for a piss-poor Dallas ball club.
Troy Aikman.
You are just on this, Brad Ryder. You're on it. Played for a piss-poor Dallas ball club as a rookie in 1989, but he did throw for 372 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 8 against Arizona. Has anyone else noticed that the Cardinals are involved in almost every one of these games?
Either for or against. Yeah.
5-1. Is that right, Wapple?
Yes, it is.
Finish him. Brad could seal it up. Speaking of the Cowboys, did anyone see the ad? Have you seen the ad lately of Emmitt Smith coming out of retirement?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. With all the other
With
guys.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, that was funny.
Marino.
Okay, I didn't notice anyone else sitting there. The only one I could recognize was Emmitt Smith. But he's sitting there and he says, "I'm going to come out of retirement." And they cut to what I believe is a dream sequence. I can't be sure. But the next shot, because Emmitt Smith is like 54, 55 years old now. The next shot, he's napping on the bench, and the coach has to wake him up to get into the ballgame.
Yeah.
That's a very funny ad. Who else is in it?
Randy Moss.
Dan Marino.
Yeah, there's one with Moss, too. Yeah.
Didn't see it. Didn't notice those guys. That was a very funny ad. Okay, this is it, Brad. You can seal it up right here.
All right.
Although he'd later win a Super Bowl for a team out west, this quarterback...
Matt Stafford.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. How is that possible?
I don't know how you did that.
Well, he moved from Detroit to L.A. out west, so...
Man, that was awesome. For Brad.
And the final from Dad Fights, 100 plus 47, 6-1, Brad Ryder.
Matthew Stafford's going to be on season 2 of quarterback, which made Kirk Cousins a big star.
Did they find they were having trouble finding guys?
I think he's the only guy so far, unless I've missed a story, I think he's the only guy so far that said he'll be a part of it.
Okay.
Now, furthermore, other rookies that had at least one great performance. Ryan Tannehill.
Sure.
Back in the day, I don't
Miami?
have. Well, yeah. I wish I had the year in front of me. I thought I did, but I must have accidentally edited that out. Ryan Tannehill when he was a rookie with the Dolphins. Andrew Luck with the Colts.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield with the Browns. As a matter of fact, Baker Mayfield in his debut became the first quarterback since Fran Tarkenton in 1961 to come off the bench in his debut, throw for more than 200 yards, and lead his team to its first win of the season.
I don't think Fran came off the bench in 61. I think Fran started.
Okay, well, who cares? Now Mayfield is in Tampa. He hilariously beat the Vikings in Week 1, and there's something in here about him being an underwear model?
Yeah, I did on some underwear ads in Cleveland.
I missed those. So there you go. Randy and Brad, nice work.
Yep.
What do you got going this weekend? Anything big?
Heading up to my cabin to take care of some winterizing stuff. That's about it.
Oh, did they pull the dock in?
Yeah, they've got the dock in.
Who are those guys again?
Who did?
The boys got the dock in. You really want me to mention them?
No.
Okay.
You guys have a great one, all right,
yeah.
Brad and Randy?
All right. Sounds good.
We'll talk to you on Monday.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ray Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, like, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was just doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
What am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do? Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-assed Morning Show.
Listening to the radio. Yeah. Yes, you are. Hope everyone's enjoying a nice, laid-back Friday. And thanks for listening to the 93X Half-assed Morning Show as we settle in here at 8:30. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful effing thing. Josh, you might remember this. I fell in love with a burlesque dancer years ago, and I never had the chance to tell her how I really felt deep down inside my soul.
Is this someone on the internet or the one that would come in studio?
Do you remember? That's where I was going with.
Yeah.
The ones there were actually two burlesque dancers that I fell in love with years ago. One of them, and I feel terrible that I've forgotten the other's name, but it's been a stretch of time. One of them was Sweet Pea.
That's the one that came to mind for me.
Oh, I know the other one.
Who was it, Wapple?
Queenie Von Curves.
Queenie Von effing Curves.
Right.
Thank
cool
you.
names.
Thank you for remembering
Because
that.
both of them would do WrestlePaloozas all the time.
Yes, they did.
Sweet Pea we had in several times.
Mm-hmm.
And Queenie Von Curves definitely a couple times.
Yes. Fell in love with both of them, and I think that's where we first got familiar with the two of them, was they would put on shows during the intermissions of those big First Avenue wrestling programs, WrestlePalooza, if that's what it was called back in those days. I can't remember. But Queenie Von Curves and Sweet Pea. What sealed the deal between me and Queenie Von Curves was we had her in studio, and I hope both of them are doing well and they're still doing their thing here in town. I just don't get out anymore. And I would imagine that Queenie Von Curves and Sweet Pea probably don't do their shows at 6 p.m., so it's likely I'm never going to see one of their shows again. They probably start at 11:30 or something miserable like that. But at one of those first... I think you were standing right next to me, Wapple, at one of those first wrestling shows. Queenie Von Curves walks by, and we had her in studio, a few days prior, and she recognized us, and she hugged me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I thought, I am desperately in love with this woman. and they put on such great shows.
Oh, they're so funny, too.
They're fun and funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed having them. I've never saw them at work, but they were certainly funny in studio.
Oh, they had such good gimmicks. Like, wasn't...
and attractive.
You were telling me one time, Nick, one of them was dressed as, like, a transformer.
Yes.
And then when she was kind of getting down to it, all of a sudden she came down to high beams over her bosoms.
Over the bosoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. She was a transformer, and her jugs transformed into headlights, and I had tears in my eyes.
That's hilarious.
The reason I bring up my failed attempt at love with a couple of local burlesque dancers, the reason I bring it up, well, number one, it's therapeutic to talk about these lost loves. But Josh, I was hoping to surprise you with this. I doubt I'll be able to because you just know everything that's going on.
I do not.
There is a touring Star Wars burlesque show.
Okay, I am familiar with this.
You are familiar.
The Empire Strips Back?
That's right. Am I the only one who didn't know about this?
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, they go worldwide.
Worldwide,
Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil. Okay.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
I didn't know if that was he's making fun of you or if that.
Nope, that's what
Titus
they do.
Worldwide. A Star Wars burlesque show tours around the world, and you're right, Josh. It's called The Empire Strips Back. Okay, well, what about this? And we'll get more into the Star Wars thing here in a minute. But did you know that there was a Shrek burlesque program?
That would confuse me, I think.
Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions.
It is called Shreklesque. Shreklesque. No one has much of an interest in
I
that.
don't really liked it that much.
The
It doesn't
Empire
roll off
Strips
the
Back
tongue.
is better.
Yeah, sounds a little hotter.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, for me personally, Shrek, the movies, never saw it.
Oh, I enjoyed
I
those
have no
movies.
connection to Shrek at all. It sounds like you folks maybe feel like that kind of show shouldn't be aligned with a program like Shrek.
Yes.
I understand.
It's not Swamp-lesque? It's Shrek-lesque?
What I have here in front of me is Shrek-lesque.
Okay, then I'm on the wrong website. I'm looking up Swamp-lesque, and they're in Brisbane for the month of November, if you have any interest. Maybe Australian Jesus is going to go home and
check
catch
it out.
this.
Oh.
Yeah, this is just weird.
What's weird?
I'm watching some of the videos from them, and it's like they have the gingerbread man and stuff like that.
You're talking
Weird.
about Shrek-lesque?
Yeah.
There's
The
a-
gingerbread man.
The gingerbread man's pouring milk on himself and everything.
No way.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what that means. There was a gingerbread man in the...
Yeah,
anyway.
so they're all like characters from books and stuff like that. In
Okay.
Shrek.
Fairy tales.
All right,
Fairy
yeah,
tales.
so Shrek-lesque and Swamp-lesque are the same thing. It's the same show.
Back to-
these women are not what you'd expect.
Well, point some of that my way, if you don't mind.
Well, I guess unless they're
Love
I
of
guess
my life.
They're good. They're ogre-ish.
They're staying faithful to characters.
The quote was not what you'd expect. Okay, these are burly women.
You bring up a good point, Dana. Maybe it's exactly what you'd expect if they're going to play an ogre.
An ogre, he says.
And I feel like an a-hole saying that now. That came out of my mouth.
Back to the Star Wars burlesque show, The Empire Strips Back. They are, like Josh said, touring around the world. Right now they're sold out in the United States and Canada, or as they say up there, Canada. They claim to have very sexy stormtroopers. They have a dangerously seductive Boba Fett. These characters I'm not familiar with, but they say they have tantalizing Twi'leks. When I say that, do you know what Star Wars character I'm referring to?
I'm not
No.
sure.
Not sure. If
Fair
I saw
enough.
it, I'm sure I'd recognize it, but
They have a Tauntaun.
Oh, a Twi'lek. And I don't want a Star Wars fan to get mad at me because I'm Googling it. It's the one with those, tentacle things on their head.
Oh,
for like
yes.
a better way to describe it.
Do you know what it means to have a Tauntaun?
Like a silk. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a Lady Luke Skywalker. I like the way this is put. Even in a galaxy far, far away, they are removing clothing and sexually confusing fans. I like that. And they finally say this show has the droids you are looking for and much, much more. The Empire Strips Back. I'm not even a Star Wars guy, but that sounds like fun.
it does sound fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun to take a family trip there. All of us get together and go. Load up in our Millennium Falcon and head out that way.
See if you can get on the internet if you have that skill set. Maybe there's a whole lot of other burlesque parody type shows that we need to know about. Don't hurt yourself or anything, but if you bump into one, I'd be pleased to hear about it.
Dental Babe she texted in a photo of her and her friends doing a rendition of Shrek-lesque. They all have the Shrek masks on.
It's
awesome.
That is unnerving. I mean, because they're hot babes all the way up to the neck, and then they become Shrek, the green alien, whatever the hell he was supposed to be. That's unnerving.
Yeah, some of those are disturbing.
I am sexually confused, is what I just like they described. All right, there you go. There you go. Anyone drinking this weekend?
Oh, hell yeah.
Probably,
I'm going to be
yeah.
crushing some brewskis with my friends.
Is that how you say that?
It took me a second to realize if I was saying it right.
I mean some real drinking, like Josh and Nick in 1999 type of drinking.
No.
Probably not that hard, but I'm going to a comedy show, and I imagine I'll have some drinks there.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
What show?
Craig Ferguson's in town.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Why does Greg Ferguson ring a bell?
Craig.
Craig Ferguson?
He used to host one of the late night shows on
Scottish
CBS.
guy?
Scottish dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. I think I've seen him on television
He
once.
taught me how to make a grilled cheese with a iron, like a clothes iron.
That's a good life skill, Waffle.
Is that something you'd ever do?
No.
Yeah, if you're in a pinch.
I guess in a pinch.
Have you ever been in a pinch when it comes to grilled cheese sandwiches?
Well, I have been. I've never made a grilled cheese sandwich in my life, aside from the microwave ones.
But I was in a pinch when I needed to iron my clothes, so then I just boiled hot water in a saucepan and used that to iron my shirt.
Dude, see, now that seems like a skill that could come in handy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of something like that before.
Yeah, when I was living with my buddies and we didn't even have a toaster at that time.
Angry bus driver Jesus said his nephew has a play this weekend, so he's probably going to have some vodka and Gatorade. Yeah, some of those can be a little rough.
All right, if you're doing some real drinking this weekend, like if you're drinking with Terry Hoyts, did I get the right name?
Not sure I know who that is.
The movie The Other Guys? Remember when Mark Wahlberg says
oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're drinking tonight. You're drinking with Terry Hoyts tonight. I think I got the right name.
Character.
Yeah, okay. If you're doing some real drinking this weekend, look out for annoying drunks. I'm sure you always do. Well, we've all been the annoying drunk once or twice. Maybe some of us still are, and our friends just don't have the balls to tell us.
I hope not.
I don't think I've ever seen you drunk, Ashley. Or maybe I have and I forget.
Well,
Do you clean it up around me?
Yeah, I try to hold my composure because usually when I'm drinking around you guys, it's at a station event, so I try to not get too gone.
How hammered did you get when you were hanging out with my son?
Oh, I was pretty tuned up that night.
In Wisconsin?
Yeah,
she was.
I was pretty tuned up because I'm tuned up when I get mad that people won't let me go to bed. I'm like, if you guys don't let me go to bed.
Josh has never seen me drunk either.
No, I didn't even know you drank until very recently.
If you're dialing in this weekend, and I know this is an odd number, but some website somewhere has put together a list of the 16 most annoying drunk behaviors. 16 most annoying drunk behaviors. I'm familiar with a lot of these type of drunken behaviors, but not all.
I've got the top one in my mind, at least.
What do you think it is?
Holler at. Okay, go ahead and dump it on us now.
People that yell, raise their voice.
Yeah,
people that yell.
You know, I don't remember if this was an on or off-air conversation, but I've noticed if I run into someone I haven't seen in a while, and you're enthusiastic, I talk louder, and it seems like maybe both of us are yelling at each other. And I've noticed that in the halls too. Wapple, you're the king of that.
Wapple's good at
really.
it. Really.
Like when you're like, hey, good to see you, and everybody's talking so loud.
It's like an art form.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this off now. Annoying drunk behaviors. Like I said, I'm familiar with a lot of these drunken behaviors, but not all. This first one, I don't know if I've ever encountered a drunk who talked about their sex life in a sad, depressing way.
I think this is a typo.
It's supposed to say X. That's my bad.
Talking about your ex in a sad, depressing.
Oh, that's a typo. Well,
Yeah.
that's why I was so confused. Talking about your ex in a sad, depressing way. Okay. Well, that...
They keep bringing her up or bringing him up, and then they go in a rant. Like, I'm totally over it, though.
Sure, I understand that. All right.
I like to talk about other people's exes in a sad, depressing way. Like, man, you really screwed that up. You were so much happier with her. You're never going to find someone like her again.
No, now I want to hear someone talk about their sex in a sad, depressing way. I do.
I've even heard that, too.
Yeah, you have the friends that can be like, I haven't gotten laid in so long.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
but that's not, I don't know. Another one here that I don't, it depends on what they mean here. Stealing stuff. It says here, everybody knows a friend who turns into a thief when they're drunk. I don't have a friend like that.
I certainly
did when I was a kid.
See, that's different. When we were in high school, we were sneak thief little bastards. We'd go to beer parties and steal all the booze out the liquor cabinet. That's different. I'm thinking of grown folks here.
Yeah, but a lot of grown people, they'll steal like stupid stuff, like cones or signs and stuff like that when they're walking around with their friends.
That's not grown folks. That's still young kid stuff.
No, like college age
outside
and
bars.
Even up. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess I was thinking of more mature, grown people in their 30s and 40s and whatnot.
I was at a bar restaurant with a buddy of mine who came back from the bathroom. He's like, we got to go. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And I thought, he must have started something with someone in the bathroom, right? But instead what it was is he took his credit card as he walked by, the area where they ring you out, and he put $1,500 on it. He refunded himself $1,500.
Oh my God.
How did he pull that off?
Well, I don't know. I think he went back and said, hey, somebody made a mistake and put it, because he was so worried that I'm going to go to jail. But yeah, he just walked by and decided to do it.
Wow.
All right, stealing stuff. I mean, sure, when we were kids. Telling stories that are either gross or inappropriate. Holy balls, do I know this song and dance.
They get very graphic about it, too.
I have a couple of buddies who will just turn your damn stomach when we're sitting around drinking. They love to play that gross out game. Specifically, it's usually sexual stuff. I wish I could repeat some of these things, but I can't. That's their gimmick, is gross sex stuff. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not. The drunk guy, these are the most annoying drunk behaviors. The drunk guy who's heckling the comedian at the club and attempting to steal the spotlight but always fails. Let me tell you something. You don't always fail. We've had some great times when we were younger heckling comics, and sometimes you win.
And even then, it's just kind of annoying because, I paid to see this person do comedy.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I
I
hate
paid
that.
my ticket too, didn't I, Dana?
So that gives you the right to disrupt everyone else's night?
Yes, it does.
That's the same reason I love to answer my phone in movie theaters. I bought this ticket. This is an important call.
We have had some real fun heckling comics before. You don't always fail. One more, then we better take a break. This reminds me of my brother when he was a drinker. When you throw something in the oven and then you check out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times I saved our home from being burned down when my brother and I were young drinkers because he loved to throw something on top of the stove or in the oven, and then the lights would go out. I mean, black smoke pouring out of the oven when I come home, and my brother was sound asleep, well, if that's what you want to call it, asleep on the couch.
Embarrassingly enough, I've done that sober plenty of times where I completely forget that I put something in
I just
them.
did it last week and took a nap. The smell of burnt chicken after trying to boil it down is not pleasant, I'll tell you that.
Oh, gross. I'll bet.
Half-assed morning show 93X.
Our drummer's a little off this morning.
He's been drinking.
Yeah, it's
That's
Friday.
annoying when your drummer's drinking.
annoying.
You can't keep a beat.
Drinking beers, drinking hooch, drinking this and that. That's what we've been talking about the last few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show as we head out the door here shortly. Look out for the annoying drunks this weekend. Some prick on the internet lined up the top annoying drunk behaviors. Lined them up for us, Josh. The top annoying drunk behaviors. We've gone through a few.
I think we all agree with everything that's been on this list, do we not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, why not?
Dana, I've seen you drunk a few times, and you're just basically a zombie. You just don't. Your personality, I think, escaped through whatever you're peeing out of your body.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've seen me drunk a couple times. I think I'm always quiet around work people, though. So I don't want to say anything too stupid.
What's your excuse for on air then?
Yeah, between 5:40 and 9, you should adopt the exact same theory.
I hear you on all that. Yeah, I agree with the list. Some of it is pretty unfamiliar to me. I don't have a lot of experience with some of these annoying drunk behaviors, like the next one, breaking things. The worst is the person who intentionally breaks things when hammered. Again, if we're going back to when we were 16, that's one thing. But I'm picturing, grown folks here, so I don't encounter drunks who intentionally break things.
I did that once, and I still feel terrible about it. Absolutely. It's one of my most embarrassed moments of my life. I feel so stupid that I was doing that.
What was it?
It was glasses at the bar. Like drinking glasses. Yeah, I smashed one, and then I got a big laugh out of it, so I kept doing it until they kicked me out. And it was stupid. At the time, I thought it was hilarious, and the more I thought about it, I feel absolutely awful.
That sounds so unlike you.
Yeah,
well, and that's the part that bothered me, too. It was out of character, and I still can't. I'm even embarrassed to say it. I was wondering if I'd bring it up.
Well, you got a cheap pop out of the crowd, right? You got a couple of gals to look your way. It was worth it.
You had a taste for blood, and you wanted more.
Here's another example of annoying drunk behavior that I have very little experience with. Me and my friend group, we never took an interest in cocaine ever before. Sure, we saw it around from time to time in high school and into our 20s, but the next annoying drunk behavior here is being the cocaine guy, either the guy who's doing cocaine or the guy that keeps bringing up how everyone should take cocaine.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Mm-hmm. I've never experienced, I've been around people who have done it, but never someone who's, like you described there, Nick, who's kind of been like, hey,
we should go find some cocaine. We should go find some cocaine. Do you guys want to do cocaine? Let's go try to find some cocaine. I think I know a guy who's got some cocaine.
Yep, exactly.
We were always a beer drinking crowd. We didn't encounter that kind of a thing. The close talker, especially if they spit when they talk.
Oh, man, there's a guy that was just known for that here. Do you remember we were at that house party and you saw me cornered by him and he just gets right in your face?
No, I don't remember this.
One of my favorite guys we've ever worked with. But, yeah, so then I'm trying to slyly just wipe the mountains of spit off my face.
Now I know who you're talking about. He is a great guy.
Awesome. Honestly, one of my all-time favorite people.
But for whatever reason, when he has 4 or 5 drinks in him, he wants to be nose to nose, like Hogan and The Rock are taking a promotional poster for their next match. You know what I mean? How wrestlers do that?
Yeah.
He wants to be nose to nose, and he spits like a bastard when he talks.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, God, yes, I remember that.
And he's like Wimbenyami, right? He's so tall, and he's just towering over me.
Oh, sure.
It's like I'm taking a shower.
Yeah, it's like
the
raining
shower
down.
head's above me.
Plus, he's always trying to undo my belt buckle as well, and I didn't.
Wapple, I love you, but when we were at the casino, the night that I was tuned up, you were also very tuned up, and there was this time you were telling me something. I have no idea what it was, but you just coated me in spit.
I don't even remember that.
And I didn't want you to feel bad, so I didn't even flinch. I was like, I'm just gonna stay right here.
Oh yeah, I've definitely taken it for that reason.
We've all done that. You try not to show that you've just been splashed. Yes?
Wapple did it to me that same night too, but that's because I gave him $20 to do it. So I wanted it. I'm like, no, more.
More annoying drunks. We covered this, I think, recently. People who get mad at the people who aren't drinking, trying to pressure you to drink. Sure. Being way too horny. I think we covered this
those
subject.
people at the bar that are all over each other. Don't do that here.
Well, I think they're referring to, you get horny when you drink and then you go and have sex and with someone maybe. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You get horny and you pounce on whatever is available. But I see where you're going with that. You're talking about the public displays of affection, people. When you people who are annoying drunk behaviors, I guess you get drunk and you start texting people that you shouldn't. Invading people's personal spaces is next on the list. Getting too touchy or invading people's personal spaces. Yeah, a little of that goes a long way.
Plenty of people text that very same thing in.
I don't mind a little bit of touchy touch, arm around, pat me on the... A little goes a long way. Taking a leak in a place where you shouldn't be taking a leak.
Yeah.
I think everyone's done that.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. I've never done that. Oh, wait a minute. I did. I just told you the story about when I thought I was in someone's backyard.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
That's the only time. Crying or becoming the crying or yelling person after just a few drinks.
I've never done it, but I've seen it.
Seen it happen.
Oh, yeah. You guys know the I love that bitch story.
Yeah.
That was the crying and yelling person all in one that night. I love that bitch. I love that bitch. Over and over again. Puking.
Yeah, it's always tough. Again, especially with somewhere where it's not supposed to go.
Yep.
Right. The throwing up drunk, that's an annoying drunk behavior. And finally, starting fights. Oh, God, I do not miss those days. I do not miss those days. Fight after fight after fight after fight. Once we got enough beer in us, it was friggin' ridiculous. I do not miss that at all.
Were you ever like, oh, I'm glad we did that last night?
A fight?
Yeah.
There had to have been one or two where... Yeah, I have. There were times when I was glad.
Yeah.
But that's a very small percentage.
Sure.
Very small percentage. Oh, it wasn't that long ago I ran into some gal that I went to high school with that I hadn't seen for years and years and years, and we started talking about high school and into our early 20s because she was still part of our friend group back then, and she just said, all you guys ever did was fight. And she was right. It was just so stupid.
I'm glad you have matured.
Well, Josh,
I don't need anything happening to you. Stay out of Maple Lake, for God's sakes, and just maybe watch who you're hanging out with.
Haven't been there since, but you know I'm coming back one day.
Yeah, you'll get your revenge.
They know I'm coming back one day. There you go. Look out for the annoying drunks. Good luck, deer hunters and all that. Cubby?
Happy belated birthday to Natural Light Jesus. Pig Sticker Bass Fisherman Jesus sending a happy birthday wish to his daughter Ella, turning the big 08 tomorrow. Happy birthday today to our good buddy Green Bay attorney Jesus. Happy 13th to Asian cop Jesus' cousin Jesus' son Drew. I didn't think I was going to get through that.
That was a journey.
Let's see. From smartass firefighter in Wisconsin Jesus, he's inviting the brother and sisterhood to stop by the Glenwood City Fire Department chili feed tomorrow from 4 to 7 at their fire hall. I love a good chili feed. As Nick mentioned, please stay safe, hunters out there, all our friends that are hunting, including What It Do Jesus, who's deer hunting for the very first time in his life, he said.
I wonder if anyone's going to go to the chili feed and then directly up into the deer stand.
Oh, that'd be a mistake.
And then they're going to think to themselves, probably should have made a pit stop between the chili feed and the deer stand.
Reverse order might have been better.
Yeah.
Text the word number, 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 to 651-989-9393. That is your opportunity to win tickets to Iron Maiden, Tuesday, October 22nd at XL Energy Center. Again, our Luther Bloomington Kia text line, 651-989-9393. You want to text the word number. Furnished by Live Nation. Tickets on sale today at 10 a.m.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.